is game time, and while we're in the desert, let there be no confusion, absolutely no drought when it comes to championships. Colliding tonight, the champs from next door out of California, Mater Dei, come into the house of the Coyotes to take on Centennial. Centennial looking for another headliner of a victory after last year's win, of course, over Bishop Gorman. Mater Dei collides with Centennial in this non-district clash, all part of our Arizona high school football game of the week. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. Lincoln Rose, Bill Colhane with you. And Bill, we talk about state championships from the Golden State next door in California, taking on the Coyotes tonight here just outside of Phoenix. What a clash and what an opportunity for high school football.
Promises to be a great ball game. When you talk about Mater Dei and Centennial, two of the best teams in the country, two of the best coaching staffs in all of high school football, and some marquee, I'm talking big-time football players.
Let's take a look at your keys to this matchup tonight. Here are the Larry H. Miller keys to the game. Larry H. Miller, proud to support Arizona high school football, driven by you.
Bryce Young, the quarterback for Mater Dei, in 2 season-opening wins, has passed for 487 yards, 7 touchdowns, only 1 interception. For Mater Dei, it's going to be important to rally to the football on defense, because not only do you have to contend with Jaden Young, but Jonathan Morris has a number of weapons. And beat the trip, 355 miles from Santa Ana to Peoria, Arizona. Coach Rollinson said they're treating the trip, or the Monarchs, like a business trip.
As for the Coyotes, how do they again turn heads tonight with another big win?
Bryce Young, one of the best quarterbacks in all of high school football. You've got to slow him down. You're not going to stop him. Offensive efficiency, when the Coyotes own the football, they've got to take care of the ball. You can't turn it over. The Monarchs don't need any help offensively. And then finally, you've got to hold the line. Mater Dei's starting offensive line averages 305 pounds per man, and the Monarchs are also big up front on the D-line.
Well, we take a look at some of our key players to watch. And, of course, you already heard the name. Bryce Young, the future Trojan at USC, continues the great pipeline of quarterbacks for Mater Dei.
Yeah, no doubt about it. When you think about Matt Leinart, Matt Barkley, and all the great players that have come through Mater Dei, 2 Heisman Trophy winners have worn the 3 stripes of the Mater Dei Monarchs. Just an incredible history and tradition of football.
And we'll keep it at the back of the phone book with another Mr. Young.
Yeah, I already mentioned the name Jaden Young, the 5'11", 195-pound senior, 3-year varsity starter. Obviously playing for the Coyotes. He's won a lot of games in his high school career. Was All-Arizona selection by the Arizona Republic a year ago. He is certainly one of the guys the Monarchs will want to keep an eye on tonight.
Champions collide in Arizona tonight. National headlines, national focus, all part of our Arizona high school football game of the week.
Game Time High School football coverage on Your View is sponsored by Arrowhead Honda. Arrowhead Honda is supporting our schools. You can find your car and buy online at arrowheadhonda.com. By Big O Tires, the team you trust. And by Valle Luna, proud supporter of scholar athletes in Arizona. Join us all fall long for some of the top high school football teams from around the country on Game Time.
Phoenix Children's Medical Moments.
Scoliosis is a curvature of the spine. With the magnitude of the surgery, you really get to know these families, and I've been doing it long enough where I've got kids bringing me their kids, which, you know, makes you feel really young. By the first day after surgery, we're getting them up and getting them walking. Fortunately, most kids that come into my office that truly have scoliosis never need surgery. The most rewarding part is when you've changed somebody's life for the better.
Big O Tires
and the D-backs
have teamed up to keep you safe
and deliver Major League fun.
It's the Check Your Air,
Score a Pair promotion.
Stop into any participating Big O Tires for a free air pressure check,
and you'll receive a voucher for 2 D-backs tickets to select games.
Proper inflation improves tire performance,
Slows tire wear,
saves gas,
and gets you home safe.
So remember, Check Your Air,
Score a Pair.
Big O Tires
And the D-backs,
the teams you trust.
About to get underway with the Monarchs and Coyotes. Reminder, tonight's Arizona high school football game of the week. Presented in part by Arrowhead Honda. They're supporting our schools, and they want to support you with your next vehicle. Whether you're a graduate, a football mom, or grandparent, they've got the car for you. Contact Arrowhead Honda for amazing prices on new and used Civics, Accords, Pilots, CRVs, and the all-new Passport. And mention high school football or visit arrowheadhonda.com. And of course, parents, learn the signs and symptoms of concussion at barrowneuro.org/concussion discussion. Lincoln Rose, Bill Colhane with you, and for the first time tonight, a chance to check in down on the sidelines with Haley Stasiak with more on tonight's coaches.
Thanks, guys. We've got two of the nation's best high school football coaches going head-to-head tonight here in the desert. Mater Dei's Bruce Rawlinson is in his 31st season with the program, and Centennial's Richard Taylor is in his 30th. The two combined for over 80 years of coaching experience and over 600 wins. When I asked what has led to a lot of the success that these coaches have seen, they said the minimal staff turnover that they've had has been the key. Coach Rawlinson told me that they have to have great players, but they also have to have good coaches, and he's got great coaches. Here's tonight's injury report brought to you by Phoenix Children's Hospital, nationally ranked, locally focused. Mater Dei guard Muta Lafasa was a game-time decision earlier this week, and Coach Rawlinson has said that he will be ruled out. Guys, back to you.
Haley, thank you very much. And Bill, again, these two coaches, both 3 decades at the helm of their programs, have found success early and often. And one of the great things is all the assistants who have been there along for the ride with them as well. Such great consistency over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, you look at Mater Dei, and defensive coordinator Eric Johnson has been with Coach Rawlinson for 25 of his 31 seasons as head coach. On the offensive side of the ball, OC Dave Money has been at Mater Dei since '89 when Rawlinson took over as head coach. And on the other side, you talked about the Coyotes, and same thing there. You've got Brian Burgess, the freshman coach, 28 years. Hal Borauer, the defensive line coach, 29. And Joe McDonald, who coaches the big fellas on the O-line, 28 years at the school. So continuity, I think, leads to success. Coach Rawlinson, Coach Taylor, they echo those same words.
Those Monarchs will be kicking off to the Coyotes to begin this ball game. So it'll be the offense of the Coyotes looking to flex their muscle early on. And again, so many teams with Mater Dei coming to town, they would have lost before they even stepped out of the locker room. But this is a Coyotes team with recent memories of great success against a national powerhouse 1 year ago.
Yeah, how about wins? You talk about 2018, the win against Bishop Gorman, which Coach Taylor earlier this week, he sees that as kind of the landmark win that launched the Coyotes ultimately to the state title a year ago. And then you go back to 2017, and St. Thomas Aquinas came in from Fort Lauderdale, and the Coyotes able to knock off a national power like St. Thomas Aquinas. So we can call this David versus Goliath. You can attach all kinds of titles to this matchup. All I know is we're about ready to witness one heck of a football game.
Of course, in this situation, David already has back-to-back state titles as one of the preeminent programs here in Arizona. So again, the Coyotes with the red tops welcoming in Mater Dei. Not a lot of teams accept the opportunity to play Mater Dei on a Friday night. It is hard for them to fill out their non-district schedule, but the Coyotes up to the challenge, welcome them into their house. You mentioned that long drive from across the state border. How will these Monarchs and their defense fare early in this ball game?
Let's keep this in mind as well, along with the 355 miles. The temperature high in the Peoria area, 107 degrees today. Back in Santa Ana, the high of 91.
Underway tonight as a pair of powerhouses collide, as they will attempt to return this one up to the 26-yard line is where things will set up for Jonathan Morris and this 1-0 Coyotes program for Centennial. Of course, Morris, the senior signal caller, as this offense early and often will be looking to number 3 in Jaden Young.
Yeah, Jaden Young for sure. We're going to see a lot of two-back from the Coyotes offensively. See some ISO, see some power. The fullback who's going to be leading up inside is one of the veterans on this football team. Derek Jadarski is a two-way player.
Personal foul, though, on the return is going to move the Coyotes back into the shadow of their own end zone. You see the ball. Penalty from the spot of the foul back to the 7-yard line, half the distance to the goal. So not the start they were hoping for early on.
Yeah, both of these defenses really difficult to score on them, let alone when you have to travel long distances.
Hoping for a 93-yard touchdown drive to begin the ball game. Again, your signal caller, Jonathan Morris. And they'll keep it on the ground early, immediately swallowed up by the big men up front. Among those in on the stop there for the Monarchs.
Rajon Davis is one of the guys who got in there, did a nice job, good form tackle. It's going to sound like a broken record, but when you talk about these student athletes in this game, so many high-profile players. Rajon Davis, 4-star recruit, has nearly 20 offers. He looks around his locker room there at Mater Dei, and he has a bunch of teammates with that kind of resume.
Davis had a couple of tackles for loss last week, already adds one here, moving the Coyotes back to the 6-yard line. Just trying to get a little bit of breathing room from that end zone, and it's up to the 9-yard line as they went straight with the snap to Young. As here are the Batteries Plus Bulbs starting lineup. Batteries Plus Bulbs, power up at your neighborhood Batteries Plus Bulbs or online at batteriesplus.com.
Yeah, Jaden Young, we're going to see a lot of that Wildcat. It's something that the Coyotes did back in 2018. Young is such a versatile football player, even though we see Jonathan Morris is going to come back in a QB at the moment.
Morris makes sure he and Young on the same page here on 3rd down. Monarchs trying to get their defense off the field, and it will be a 3 and out. Coyotes will barely have enough room to get their punter in with the heels on the back of that end zone in all likelihood. As nothing working for the Coyotes after that personal foul on the return to begin the ball game.
Yeah, see, I guess the Coyotes there, one of the ideas, you go to the screen game to try to slow down the Monarchs pass rush. It doesn't work in that particular case.
Brendan James back in the end zone to punt this one. And you see, again, Cody Epps back to return, looking to get this ball about midfield. And Epps will tell his teammates to get away as it is down just inside the 49-yard line. It'll set up the first drive here for Mater Dei, a short field ahead.
Fortuitous bounce there for the Coyotes. That thing landed at about the 40 of Centennial and took a friendly roll for the homestanding Coyotes.
That's one of those coaches would love to see that ball caught on the fly.
Yeah, it's called hidden yardage, right? It's something that maybe we as fans don't always recognize, but you know, when the coaches get together after this game and they're cutting up the film, they'll have the tablets out and the pens and pencils writing that kind of stuff down.
Again, the Batteries Plus Bulbs starting lineup for the offense for the Monarchs. Batteries Plus Bulbs, power up at your neighborhood Batteries Plus Bulbs or online at batteriesplus.com. Young, first time we see his arm on display, a little too quick that time for the youthful C.J. Williams. It doesn't matter who you talk to, everybody has the same scouting report on Bryce Young, the future USC Trojan. It's not that he rushes in the pocket, but when he decides he's going to throw that football, it gets out in a hurry.
It's what I refer to, Lincoln, as from recognition to release. The R to R on Young is phenomenal. The first time I saw him on tape, it literally took my breath away. He sees his guy, and he gets the ball to his receiver as quick as anybody you'll see in high school football.
Right up the middle, nothing fancy. That offensive line helping pave the way for Craig's 8-yard gain on 2nd down. Quincy Craig, the sophomore. Again, there are some young players who are contributors for this national powerhouse.
They just a good job up front. In the intro, talked about Mater Dei and how good the Monarchs are up front. We can talk about the skill guys. You can give me Tom Brady, you can give me Jerry Rice, Emmitt Smith, whoever. But if you want to have a really good, consistent, winning football team, you've got to be good in the trenches.
And the Coyotes defense get off the field here. 3rd and 2. First down and then some. This time able to connect with C.J. Williams. His head coach, Bruce Rawlinson, who has seen some greats over the years, just simply labeled him as truly special.
Yeah, much improved. You can clearly see that C.J. Williams has put in the sweat equity in the offseason. And both of these teams, I guess, point out now, their strength and conditioning programs are top-notch. Despite the warm weather, despite the conditions, despite the adrenaline going right now, which can tend to tire you out eventually, both of these teams in peak physical condition.
Williams found the field last year as a freshman. Down the middle. Monarchs a yard shy of the first score tonight. As again, Cody Epps, the second man on the receiving end of a Bryce Young toss tonight.
Yeah, it looked like Epps there. It's just a skinny post. When you talk about Epps, he's the deep ball threat for the Monarchs, right on cue, and a guy who's known as a superior route runner as well. Got inside of the defender, and Young, recognition to release, put it right on the money.
On first and goal, able to hide behind that big line. Quincy Craig is in, and the Monarchs are on the board. Their defense gets them the football at midfield. And the team that many have already pegged as perhaps a repeat national champion this year has the early advantage.
It looked really good, didn't they? Impressive. The mix of the run and the pass. And the problem is, one of the problems when you go up against the Monarchs, again, is you can't look at this film, the scouting report, and say, we need to stop that guy or we need to stop those two guys. So much depth and talent.
Malum. And issues getting that ball snapped in time. It's one of the few miscues early on for Mater Dei, as no extra point. 6-0 our score. We are just getting started tonight with our Arizona High School football game of the week on Your View.
Tonight's Game Time keys to the game are brought to you by Larry H. Miller Dealerships, proud to support Arizona high school football, driven by you.
Busy. That's life for you. So while you get to it, we're going nonstop to keep you running. No running around. For new key fobs, plus your neighborhood's largest selection of batteries plus bulbs. Plus, if your phone needs fixing, we do that too. Know how? Right now. That's our specialty. Power up at your local Batteries Plus bulb store or at batteriesplus.com for all your power needs. Yes, all of them.
No guts, no glory. There are no second chances. This is Monster Jam. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Tickets start at $15. Coming to State Farm Stadium October 5th. See it live and bring the whole family.
Mater Dei getting the football for the first time, able to punch it in for the touchdown on the ground. Extra point no good, a 6-0 lead against Centennial. Well, again, our coverage tonight in part brought to you by Valle Luna, serving up authentic Sonoran-style Mexican food since 1983. Visit Valle Luna Mexican Food and Cantinas. 3 locations around the valley. Valle Luna, proud supporters of Scholar Athletes in Arizona. As there you see our Scholar Athletes. Also want to send a note, get well, Bill Riddle, owner of Valle Luna, with his wife, Janie. Bill having some health issues. We wish him a speedy recovery from the Game Time crew. Also want to mention our coverage tonight from Phoenix Children's Hospital. Young athletes' bodies are a work in progress and their care requires different approach. Phoenix Children's Sports Medicine has nationally recognized physicians and therapists who get young athletes back to doing what they love fast. Make an appointment today. Visit phoenixchildrens.org. Now let's check back in with Haley down on the sidelines.
Guys, each game, Valle Luna Mexican Restaurants and Cantinas are proud to honor 2 players with the Scholar Athlete of the Game Award. Tonight's honorees are Eric Haney of Centennial and Nate White of Mater Dei. Eric has a perfect 4.0 GPA in his classes. He is a 3-year starter for the Coyotes, has run the 100 and 200-meter dash for the track team, and volunteers with the football team for special needs children. Nate has a 4.3 and has committed to Penn University's Wharton School of Business. He's a 3-year varsity starter, member of NHS, California Scholarship Federation, and the Student Athlete Leadership Lounge. He volunteers at his church in the video production department and is a counselor at the Matt Minor Youth Football Camp. Congratulations to Eric and Nate. Valle Luna, proud sponsors of Scholar Athletes in Arizona.
Haley, thank you very much. And again, after you learn about those two young men and so many impressive young men on these two rosters, I can never complain about not having enough time to do something again. It's amazing how they are able to juggle it all.
And can I say this about both Coach Rollinson and Coach Taylor? When we visited with them earlier this week, each head coach, as much as they talked about their teams and their student athletes' exploits on the field, they were equally, if not more, proud about what the players in their program are doing off the field. And there are a number of wonderful other stories we could share.
A lot of them had GPAs that rival their 40 times.
I won't talk about my GPA, Lincoln, if you want to
talk about my
weigh
40 time. As Mater Dei able to strike with the touchdown, Craig on the ground punching it in for 6. Their defense worked a 3 and out. Centennial hoping for a better go at it here, as this is one of the weapons that Mater Dei has. They have 2 kickers who can both drive it deep into the end zone and force the touchbacks. Another long field ahead. This time again, 1st and 10 from the 25 coming up for Centennial.
Yeah, both of these teams, the way they win consistently week in and week out. Obviously, we've talked about the championships, but you have to be good in all 3 phases. And clearly, both of these teams good in special teams. Why? In part because they emphasize it during practice.
And again, another look at our starters brought to you by Batteries and Bulbs. And timeout called here by Centennial. Coach did not like what he saw.
Yeah, Jonathan Morris, the senior quarterback, he can change the play in part because he fully grasps, understands the offensive line schemes up front. And I don't know if there was just miscommunication between quarterback and other guys on the offensive side of the ball, but I will say this, and I think the Coyotes hit on it. You don't want to put yourself in a bad play where you're starting off a drive with a negative play, because you can't play behind the chains against really good defensive football teams.
You mentioned the tenure of all the assistants, specifically for Coach Taylor, and
crazy.
Yeah, that includes an O-line coach who's been there 28 years, who's produced so many Division I offensive linemen out of Centennial. You look over there at the Monarchs, appropriately named, not just competing for state titles, but also for national championships. And one of the household names nationally when it comes to high school football success.
The focus is the players, the guys down on the field. But when you think about the coaches on the sidelines, up in the press box here down from us, I mean, think about all the games going on tonight, tomorrow, Sunday. I mean, there's as much experience, some brain trust between these two programs as you'll see anywhere.
Morris has time, has the arm, but ultimately not on the same page as he overtosses that intended target.
Had man coverage, so it was the right choice there by Morris, but a little bit off target there.
Another look as ultimately was trying to connect with Eric Haney, the senior.
Eric Haney starts on both sides of the ball.
Tipped at the line as Rajon Davis got up in a hurry at 6'2". He's got some ups.
He's got some speed. He's got some quickness. He has some strength, really known primarily as a run stopper, but you can see the athleticism there. And
again, your defensive look, thanks to Batteries plus Bulbs. It's a defense that wasn't out there very long, their first time. This is 3rd and 10. Another chance to get off the football, play action, but under pressure and just gets rid of it to live to punt. The Monarchs defense has not allowed for the Coyotes to find any rhythm.
Another way that you can slow down the pressure. Coyotes trying to do it there to the Monarchs is give a run look. Even saw, I think it was the left guard pulling around to try to deceive the defense, and such a veteran savvy group on that defensive side of the ball for Coach Rollinson. Eric Johnson has to be really happy with the way his defense has played thus far.
Under pressure, it's blocked. Special teams factoring in with the touchdown, as Hunter will do it all, coming off the edge.
What did we say about all three phases? How if you're really good in special teams, it can help you win football games. Snap a little low that kind of took the timing off a little bit, but I don't know, even if the snap had hit the punter in the belly button, I'm not sure that wouldn't have been blocked.
Josh Hunter, your starting strong safety, a second-year starter, just a sophomore, and a big play. It's that third element, that third phase of the game, special teams. As Malum looking for his first successful extra point tonight. Able to split the uprights. And so this ball is going to go right back over to Centennial after the blocked punt for the touchdown. And we will see if the offense can get any kind of rhythm. There is a flag down. So both flags on Mater Dei. Only one will carry a yardage penalty, and that'll be on the kickoff. It's one of the few things not going their way, as both the offense and special teams have put up a score.
Clearly a lot of emotion, the build up to tonight's game, and I think we saw a little bit of it play out there at the end of that play. But if there's one thing we also know about these veteran coaching staffs on either sideline is, they want everybody to keep their emotions in check.
Another great look. Josh Hunter off the edge with that speed. Well, you wanted them to try to keep Bryce Young off the field, but this is not, I don't imagine what you had in mind.
No, I don't think Coach Taylor and his staff, when they got together, they would have drawn it up like this. But can I state the obvious? Am I allowed one obvious? Okay. If I'm going to be down 13-0, I prefer that it happen early in the first quarter than be down by 13 late in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean?
There's still a chance to find some rhythm here for the Coyotes. Both teams unbeaten so far. Coyotes with one game under their belt. Monarchs got an early start in 0 week. Now 2-0. Monarchs will be still traveling the country after this. In a couple weeks, they'll head off to the nation's capital to play St. John's there on the campus of Division III Catholic University. This is a Centennial defense that last week gave up 27 points, and that's almost unheard of. It's been over a decade since they had conceded that many. And running east and west is not going to bear much fruit against this Monarchs defense. It'll still be the best starting field position of the night for Mater Dei, out beyond their 30, up to about the 33.
And now Centennial, clearly some talent on their offensive side of the ball, need to start stacking positive plays. And it does help, as you just described, Lincoln, it does help to have some somewhat decent field position. The playbook is a lot thicker when you're out at your own 33-yard line than when you're inside your own 10.
Morris with a pair of backs. Able to break some arm tackles at the line. It'll be a gain of 3. The carry there from Dax Lindholm.
A newcomer to the Centennial football team. A guy's got a lot of speed. Now, Monarchs defensively have a lot of speed as well, but anything that can stress the defense.
The Monarchs team this year that has already forced 3 interceptions, blocked 3 kicks before today. Now make it 4 on the young season. Able to skate away from a potential loss in the backfield, but Jaden Young with all that athleticism, a modest gain here, will set up 3rd down.
Saw Ty Narayan get in there as well and force the issue, force the back deeper, and that allows the pursuit to get inside out. And in this case, you see Davies coming in from his outside corner position as well. Get Hats to the football. We said that was one of the keys to the game tonight for Mater Dei.
Jalen Davies in on that stop in the secondary. A 4-star recruit in the minds of most, and he has offers all over the country. Pac-12, SEC, ACC, Big Ten. Looking for an open target downfield. First down for the first time tonight. And that is going to bring the Coyotes close to midfield as Dylan Miller able to haul it in.
Talk about Bryce Young and his ability to keep plays alive there. Jonathan Morris does a nice job of escaping pressure, but I'll add this as well. Your receivers have to help you out, and there Dylan Miller did a nice job of making himself available. Too often when a quarterback's under duress, at times you'll see a receiver put the brakes on and give up on the play. Miller didn't do so.
Well, most Friday nights, Dylan Miller is staring at a double team. They'll throw short, hoping for some yardage after the catch. It's been up to his teammates, his fellow receivers, then to take advantage and make the defense pay for doubling down on Dylan. But they go to Miller, the senior, back-to-back plays here.
The big target, 6'2", 190. Mentioned Epps for Mater Dei, how he's a really good route runner. You can say the same about Dylan Miller, great hands.
2nd and 8 coming up. First snap of the night for the Coyotes in Monarch territory, down by 2 scores. As you see the trips. Haney in motion. Morris under pressure, just throws one up and might be fortunate it is incomplete as Fuamatu in pursuit. One of the pleasant surprises this year in Jacobo Fuamatu. And his senior campaign really has elevated his game. Your starter at outside linebacker for Coach Rawlinson.
Kind of a delayed pressure there where you've got the outside edge trying to keep everything inside. You see nothing happening. Get after the quarterback.
Looking at Joaquin Rodriguez, hoping to have a chance to split the uprights on an extra point rather than settle for a long field goal. And that's an incomplete pass. And it will be 4th and 8. Presumably, Coyotes looking at a punt.
Damani Jackson does a nice job of fighting through the block. The Coyotes trying to set up that receiver screen, and that's impressive because sometimes you'll see cornerbacks get absorbed by that block and opens up a running lane for the pass receiver. And just good piece of defensive work there by the Monarchs.
The last punt was blocked and taken back for a touchdown. Epps is still looking for his first return tonight. At the moment, the Coyotes have at least flipped the field. Plenty of time. Good looking punt. It'll ultimately take a turn out of bounds. And Mater Dei will have about 70 yards ahead of them if they want to find their second offensive touchdown of the night.
We've had some really tremendous shots of the crowd here witnessing this battle between the Monarchs and the Coyotes. And in visiting with Coach Taylor earlier this week, he said he could really feel the buzz, the excitement starting around Monday. And it's only built since then. And Coach Taylor, who knows a lot about the playoffs, said this game has a playoff atmosphere. I agree.
Well, when you say Coach Taylor, I have to clarify, of course, his son Andrew has now been a long-time defensive coordinator for the program, taking those responsibilities over for his dad. And when he joined the squad after his playing days at Tulsa concluded, that's when the success really started to arrive for the Coyotes. That is a completed pass. They say able to get a foot in bounds is Cody Epps to move Mater Dei to midfield.
Yeah, Epps able to get some separation and right there at the line. I think he got that right foot down.
So now 1st and 10 from their own 44. Young will hand it off. And again, that offensive line up front splitting open the defense for Marcis Yetz.
In the open, I mentioned how Mater Dei starting offensive line averages 305 pounds per man. The Green Bay Packers starting offensive line last night against the Bears averaged 311 pounds per man. Some big dudes up front.
Yeah. And a lot of them will have a chance to play on Saturdays and perhaps some on Sundays. 2nd and 1 opens the playbook here with an empty backfield. And first down strike inside the 40. That time, C.J. Williams again, the 6'2" sophomore target.
Well, Young again does a good job of using his feet to set up the throw, and clearly defensively, Centennial, they don't want to allow these Monarch receivers to blow by him. Coach Taylor talked about in the game tonight, wanted the Coyotes defensively to keep everything in front of them.
This drive started back around the 30 of Mater Dei. Quickly they have marched across midfield. Young feels the pressure. Ultimately will get it back to the original line of scrimmage, as coming in to help make the stop on that play is DJ Gleish.
Just good effort, good motor, right? Able to get around the corner, kept his feet moving and get Young from behind. Now, Young at times has been accused of having eyes in the back of his head. Not in that situation.
Leach is going to get credit for a sack there. That is a yard loss. Unable to get back to the line of scrimmage. So 2nd and 11. Young. This time easily finds his target in Ware Hudson. Kyron Ware Hudson, just his 6th grab on the Young season. The junior already with a touchdown here in the first 3 weeks.
Once he caught the ball, did a nice job of turning over his shoulder using the stiff arm to try to get away from the oncoming tackler. See it there. Bam.
Matched up with DJ Williams.
Talked about some of these guys possibly down the road playing on Sundays. We're only a 15-minute drive from University of Phoenix Stadium.
They play their games online.
Yes, they do.
1st and 10 for Young. Able to elude the 2-hand touch pursuit as he turns nothing into 5 yards in a hurry.
What does Coach Rollinson say? The running back with the $1 million arm. See it there. Look at the feet. The feet never stop. All Orange County first team quarterback as a junior a year ago, but Young was already on everybody's radar by then.
2nd trip into the red zone tonight. 2nd offensive drive for Mater Dei. Young, over the perfect shoulder, able to dial right in to his man for the touchdown, as Ware Hudson with his 2nd touchdown of the Young season.
Early on in the ball game, we saw the deep post to Epps, and there you see Young able to deliver that quick out, and he can make all the throws. You know, some guys are good with the deep ball, other guys are good at the intermediate stuff, and I haven't seen Young any pass that kid can't deliver.
That is a throw that takes Ware Hudson around the defender and up the sideline into the end zone. And now 2 for 3 on extra points. So Mater Dei with an early 20-point advantage against Centennial. Inside 4 minutes go here in the opening quarter, as the Coyotes welcoming the Monarchs into their den tonight.
I talk about in reference to Young, Bryce Young, talking about that recognition to release, but another thing that makes him special, and that's a tremendous observation you made, Lincoln, is most quarterbacks at the high school level are frame passers, meaning they can hit the frame of a receiver. Most of them are really good at it, and other guys maybe not so much, and maybe they aren't starting on Friday nights, but Young has that ability to position the ball, position his receivers where they can get yards after the catch. They can make plays after receiving the football.
There you see the Monarchs scoring drive brought to you by Big O Tires, the team you trust. As Kyron Ware-Hudson caps it all off with the 18-yard touchdown on the receiving end of this toss from Young over the shoulder.
As a defender, you have to think as well for the Coyotes, you know, there's a certain pace to the game, there's a certain speed to the game, and if you're that defender, you see the quarterback, you see receiver, and you think you can make a break on the ball to at minimum break up the pass, and again, Young just has that special ability.
Fourth possession coming up for Centennial. Their starting field position up until now had improved with each drive. They marched across midfield on their last possession, only to have to punt the football away. That was a 70-yard touchdown scoring drive for Mater Dei. And let's see if Centennial at least was able to establish some confidence on that last drive before they had to give it back. Again, Morris, your senior quarterback, with extra protection in along the line. Oh, waits just until the right moment to pitch it out there. A foot race down the sideline. And finally pulled out of bounds, a horse collar to yank Dax Lindholm. And this will be half the distance to the goal.
Nice play call, even better execution by the Coyotes. As you see the Coyotes put Rajon Davis in conflict. He's the guy that the Coyotes are running the play off of, and what did I say earlier? Lindholm, his speed. Once he had that lane, he was off to the races.
It's about a 55-yard run before the personal foul is tacked on for Lindholm.
Against Castile, Lindholm averaged 8.6 yards per carry. He just upped his average.
Again, the horse collar tackle will set up a 1st and goal inside the 10. Can this offensive line for the Coyotes impose their will now? One cut in the end zone. Coyotes on the board.
How about
Jacob?
How about a little reverse bone action there by the Coyotes? Momentum's a funny thing.
They had a nice drive before they had to punt it prior to this possession. And they get the job done on the ground. Back-to-back plays to total 75 yards.
Reverse bone, diamond. Not sure what Coach Taylor and the Coyotes call the formation, but I know they call it 6 points right now.
Rodriguez, the senior. This one deflected, and special teams has been a thorn in the side for both units so far. Well, that'll make up for the fact that Mater Dei had missed a touchdown earlier. Our new score 20-6. As there you see a 2-play 75-yard scoring drive. Brought to you by Big O Tires.
All started obviously with the big run off the option action. Lindholm able to get up the sideline, and then you tack on the penalty.
And that score could not have come too soon.
No, the Coyotes needed something positive to happen, and who knows? What did we say 10 minutes, 15 minutes ago of real time? Said a lot of football left to be played, a lot of meat left on the bone. And you don't have a championship pedigree, and I'm talking about both the Coyotes and the Monarchs. You don't have a championship pedigree unless you have that fight, that desire to be scrappy, to never give up. See Rodriguez, the kicker, ready to put boot to ball here. A guy who did himself a lot of work in the offseason to get better.
Mater Dei with a chance to return this one. And up to about the 27-yard line. So now can the defense of Centennial come up with its first stop?
7 new starters on that side of the ball for Centennial. I know you made the comment earlier in the broadcast, Lincoln, about in the season opener, the defense giving up most points they had in a decade or so. You got 7 new guys on that side of the ball. And oh, by the way, you're playing the #2 team in the nation. It may take a while to adjust.
Slippery, but ultimately the numbers game pays off for Centennial, able to swarm the ball carrier and limit the gain as we get inside the final 3 minutes here, the opening quarter. I'll say a long yard. In Mater Dei last year in the California State Open Division Championship game. Second straight year, knocked off De La Salle, no small feat. And it's going to be 3rd down coming up after the short gain by Williams.
Yeah, quick hitter there. The thing is, Centennial on the outside able to come up and make the sure tackle. Nothing happening after the catch. And the Coach Taylor pointed out when we spoke with him earlier this week, had to keep everything in front of them. Did the Coyotes defensively.
You see the down and distance. Looking for a 3rd down conversion. Flag flies before the snap. Procedure against the Monarchs. And 3rd and 3 will become 3rd and 8.
I think one of the offensive linemen on the right side anticipated the start of the play. Not by much, but I did see movement. I don't know, Lincoln, if you saw that. And it does change this play call, doesn't it? Even when you have a guy like Bryce Young, quote, having the keys to your offensive car.
What kind of pressure will the Coyotes bring here?
Which Rollinson was expecting the Coyotes to blitz a lot tonight.
They'll back off. Young hits his man in stride. Williams still on his feet, cross midfield, close to the 40. A 3rd down conversion and then some for CJ.
A long strider, crossing route. Something happened there. The Coyotes on the exchange. Just perfectly thrown ball, Lincoln. I don't know if Bryce Young could have run that football down to Williams and handed it off to him any better. Remember what I said about framed passers as opposed to a guy like that who it's pinpoint.
Young will fake. Eyes stay downfield, and he'll finally tuck it in and pick up an easy 4 yards. I don't think his blood pressure ever alters. Keeps his eyes downfield, maintains all the options. That time just kept it in himself.
A year ago, 39 touchdowns, the ratio, 39 touchdowns, 6 interceptions as a junior.
What went wrong those 6 times?
Had to be tip balls, right? Or he threw left-handed.
On 2nd down now. Pressure from behind, but Young will avoid coughing it up. But for the Coyotes, DJ Williams able to track him down. Again, the young man who plays both sides of the football comes from the blind side here.
Yeah, had a long way to go, and talk about showing off your speed and your want to. Tremendous job.
And Young fortunate not to cough that football up.
Defensively, you have to do all you can to give Young different looks. You can't bring the pressure from the same spots on every play.
On third down, pass is broken up. Guess who? DJ Williams. And he will force a decision for the Monarchs here on fourth down.
Yeah, tremendous job of sinking his hips and breaking on the football. You know, you get in that back pedal, then you have to have the ability to put your foot in the ground and attack the football. Kind of there at the mesh of where ball meets receiver. You can see the excitement on the Coyote sideline. Deservedly so.
Williams blanketing Williams.
We have Young and Williams and Williams. Good luck, play-by-play guy.
Let's just focus on the team in red. They line up to go for it on fourth down. Towards the end zone, wide open, Christian Dixon. His second score of the season.
Good read there by Young as Cody Epps. Everybody knows Cody Epps. Cody Epps took the safety to the inside, and some miscommunication allowed Dixon to stay to the outside there. Not sure if that was a vertical, but the safety was kind of in no man's land, and in part again because Cody Epps is going to draw a lot of attention.
Mater Dei answers Centennial's first score of the night with yet another touchdown. This is where the struggles have been, though, for both units. No struggle there. Able to split the uprights. And now a 3-touchdown lead, 27-6 for Mater Dei. And we may have another flag down. We'll get the announcement. They'll pick up the flag. Bill, both these teams with marquee victories last year for Centennial against Bishop Gorman. Mater Dei could not get a 10th game on its schedule, and they said, you know what, we'll take on those boys over there in Bradenton, Florida, the IMG Academy. They beat the IMG Academy, and as great as that sounds, Bruce Rawlinson says, and that's when I lost him. The work ethic started to slip a little bit. It was very predictable in his mind that they would then lose to St. John Bosco, and he needed that loss essentially to get their attention for a postseason run.
Yeah, and it worked. As Coach Rawlinson said, the players decided to listen to the coaches after suffering that defeat to a very good St. John Bosco football team. But I heard Coach Rawlinson lamenting the fact that it's tough for him to put together a 10-game schedule. So you play a very good football team like Centennial in Arizona, going to Washington, bringing in a team from Baltimore to play. The New England Patriots don't have to, that kind of schedule, that kind of travel involved. Or maybe
those Yellow Dogs get the Friday nights off in general. Not a lot of treks in those old school buses. Again, this one brought up from the 1-yard line. As Centennial will start on its own 25 after the return from Young. So Centennial able to march downfield quickly with an explosive running game. It was 2 plays for 75 yards. You threw in that horse collar as well. Can they find another quick strike here? 12 seconds to go in the quarter. Lindholm. And it's hard to get turned upfield. Salazar and Davis among those in on the stomp for the Monarchs defense. And that should be the final play, it is, of this opening frame. Your back-to-back state champion Coyotes of Centennial welcoming to town your national champion Monarchs of Mater Dei. 1 quarter in the books, still 3 to go under the lights tonight here on Your View.
My name is Javier Cardenas. I'm the director of the Barrow Concussion and Brain Injury Center here at Barrow Neurological Institute. We're very fortunate to have a comprehensive team here at the Barrow Concussion and Brain Injury Center. We have a team of neuropsychologists who can analyze the thinking aspects. We have a psychiatrist who can address the mood problems. And we have neurologists to address those physical symptoms associated with concussion. We also have a team of therapists to address balance issues, vision issues, and thinking issues in a neurological rehabilitation format. If you suspect a concussion in your athlete on the field, immediately remove them. The message, when in doubt, sit them out. Second, it's never too early to go in and see a healthcare professional about this particular injury. Also, tell the teacher, tell others at the school. That way they know how to adapt to the issues that your student is having. For more information about concussion, visit barrowneuro.org/concussion discussion.
What is Valle Luna Mexican Food and Cantinas? We are a true Arizona original, serving carefully prepared, authentic Sonoran-style cuisine since 1983. We are time-honored family recipes using only the freshest ingredients. Good fun, a family place, a gathering place. We are happy faces and happy hours. We are your new favorite neighborhood hangout. Valle Luna Mexican Food and Cantinas.
One quarter in the books here on our Arizona High School Football Game of the Week on Your View. Again, it's adrenaline-charged family entertainment. The Monster Jam returns to State Farm Stadium October 5th. Tickets on sale now. And, of course, Larry H. Miller, proud to support Arizona High School football, driven by you. Both teams able to get on the board in that opening quarter. One touchdown drive on their last possession for these Coyotes. Looking to find the end zone for a second time, and a dangerous pass broken up. I don't think he saw him, but ultimately able to get a hand on that football is Leuteli.
Yeah, Leuteli, 13 tackles, a sack, an interception. Took back for a touchdown already this season. That came against Corona Centennial. Nice job of undercutting the receiver, and maybe the Coyotes a little bit fortunate there to get the ball back.
That was on 2nd and 11. Here's 3rd and 11. Morris. Now they need the yardage after the catch. Just going to be a 2-yard gain as the Coyotes are going to have to punt this football away.
And set the screen up, but the pressure still came, forcing Morris kind of have to lob that ball a little bit, giving time for the inside-outside pursuit to get to the ball carrier, the receiver.
Mater Dei coming off a 63-7 victory over Villa Park. Both teams have missed an extra point tonight. Reason for your 27-6 score line at the moment. One of those touchdowns from Mater Dei came on a blocked punt. Let's see if they're coming at this one. As the left boot, that one tight roping right down the sideline, close to the 30-yard line. Well, Mater Dei only really once tonight has had a short field to work with. Centennial defense has had some chances, but that last touchdown drive for Mater Dei included a 4th down conversion.
Yeah, exactly right. Everything that offensive coordinator Dave Money is dialing up tonight, for the most part, has worked. And I think, maybe some would argue otherwise, but I think that speaks to that continuity. Everybody understanding, everybody's aligned, and yeah, the same situation obviously with Coach Taylor and the Centennial staff, but it is, you know, interesting to see the 3 stripes in action.
Bill, that first quarter, Bryce Young 9 for 11 passing for 173 yards and 2 interceptions. You okay with that?
It's pretty good.
Young in the pocket, puts his arm into that one, and I tell you right now, he could have thrown that ball even farther, but needed a tad more touch with C.J. Williams streaking down the far sideline.
Yeah, C.J. Williams, he's got that afterburner, elite speed, and yeah, you look at that guy and you wonder what his football future is like, C.J. Williams.
They will have Williams for a couple more seasons. Again, last year as a freshman made his way onto the field, varsity. Young man also boasting a 4.2 GPA. They will go short for about a 5-yard gain to Cody Epps. And that'll make it a much more manageable 3rd down coming up here for the Monarchs offense. A group that last year went 13 and again, just that one loss in non-district competition. In district against St. John Bosco.
Epps wears number 4. Think about this. 3 games into the season, he already has 4 touchdown receptions.
3rd and 5. Looking for the open man. And just enough pressure brought by the Coyotes, presumably to force Mater Dei, and there is a flag down. Otherwise, the Monarchs were going to be looking at their first punt of the night. And if it's an offensive hold, you would think they would decline it. Let's see. Yeah, you're not going to give Bryce Young in this offense another down to work with, even if it would be 15 yards to go. And when they talk about standing room only, well, this is their version. Some overflow in the end zone.
I see a lot of families out enjoying this football game, and that's one thing Coach Taylor talked about. Not only is this an important event for the school, for the football program, but for the entire Centennial community.
Grace Malone does both kicking duties.
Doesn't get a lot of work. The punting.
It's just his 5th punt now in game number 3 on the schedule. Averaging about 41.5 yards per kick. This will take a Coyote-friendly hop up to about the 33-yard line. And I believe this will match their best starting field position of the night for Centennial. Nice job by the Centennial defense, able to get enough pressure on Bryce Young, especially there on 3rd down. As Young unable to connect with his receivers downfield on a couple of efforts.
Normally, Centennial likes to be balanced offensively, like most teams do, and you wonder if the Coyotes are just going to have to make adjustments now and see if Morris is going to have enough time. I don't know if you have enough time for a downfield passing game, but I don't know if you can rely on the run either, even though you see Coyotes set up here in that I.
Yeah, Morris under center here with the I formation. And even with the fullback in, that's of no help to James Scott. Monarchs defense just imposing its will to set up the 2nd and long.
Penetration. It's so difficult right now at this moment for the Coyotes offensive line to get hat on hat and get much movement, creating running lanes for these Coyote running backs.
2nd and 15 now here for Morris. Southpaw fires a bullet. Jaden Young with 2 Monarchs in pursuit. It will be pushed out of bounds at the 11.
Quick slant there to Jaden Young, and if you watch his route, I think Jaden Young did a good job of deception where it looked like he was, at least in my view, going to go down and block, turns his head at the last possible nanosecond, and Morris delivered a strike. I thought Young was going to block somebody inside, maybe put a hat on somebody. And
when you appreciate that he was stopped short of the 10, because this means they don't need to score a touchdown here. Centennial can pick up another 1st down, and the Monarchs are going to burn a timeout. A little bit of concern here for Mater Dei right now, sitting on a 3-score lead.
If you're a Coyote fan, you have to absolutely love, adore the fact that there's clearly no quit in this Centennial football team, understanding there's a long way to go. These guys each team walks by trophy cases each and every day that speaks to the foundation builders of their respective programs and what they've done. And you can't be quit in you if you want to hoist trophies.
Both these teams won the games that mattered the most once the postseason came around to claim their respective state titles.
And we're talking California and Arizona.
Well, and so much of it is these coaches staying in one place for over 3 decades.
Coach Taylor said to us earlier this week that he almost has the feeling that he and his coaching staff could walk out towards the field getting ready to start fall camp, and rather than go out with a practice plan, they could just talk about, okay, guys, what are we going to do? Everybody's on the same page, and they could execute fall camp.
Yeah, completing each other's sentences.
Completing each other's sentences.
Look at this formation. Stepping through the tackles. Eyeing the end zone just short. A touchdown saving stop, at least for the moment, by the Monarchs and Nate White.
Good job bouncing outside there. The flag on the play, it's going to go against the Monarchs, but there the Monarchs allow the running back to get outside of that outside shoulder. There's no help out there. Something wrong there with the fits defensively by Mater Dei.
Mark Jacob was looking for his second touchdown of the night. Morris's big play so far is simply finding Jaden Young in traffic to set up this trip into the red zone.
Really, you think about the Coyotes offensively, the touchdown scoring drive started off with a big play, a home run of sorts, and you're right, this drive as well.
Got some big bodies in the backfield trying to pave the way perhaps for Jacob. Jacob did not go down easy, but ultimately when you have Tyler Narion on your back, it's inevitable.
It's hard to carry that 255 additional pounds. I think there, if the back just puts that left foot in the ground and gets north-south, maybe he's able to reach the promised land. Easy for me to say sitting up here in the press box with you.
2nd and goal. Presumably 4-down territory here for the Coyotes as long as they keep moving forward. The indication still short. It'll be 3rd and goal.
Local crowd doesn't like the spot.
We have a lot of unofficial officials.
Now it's pad level.
Yeah. Mao is sent in as your fullback. That Palomalu-esque flowing locks.
Pad level, who lower than the lowest.
Nothing fancy here, right? And there was movement, it appeared. And this is what you couldn't afford if you're Centennial. So it'll go from 3rd and goal from the 1, 3rd and goal from the 6. That's going to change the personnel for Centennial. Get a few more able-bodied receivers out there. Another look here. See if it wasn't on. Didn't catch it on that angle. We saw it live.
Yeah, just a little bit of a twitch. I think we saw.
Third and goal from the 6. Under pressure, keeps the play alive. And that ball again broken up by Davis, but there is a flag down where typically that's against the defense.
No idea how Morris initially avoided the sack, and still with somebody nipping at his heels, able to keep his eyes downfield. I saw that pressure come, Lincoln. I said, this play's over.
Going to have offsetting fouls and replay the down. But while we say they offset, that is a win for Centennial. They will get 3rd down back after that incompletion. So again, it is 3rd and goal here for the Coyotes.
Dylan Miller, where are you? Throw it up. Say, make a play, big fella.
Wildcat. Lindholm throws a ball in the air into the arms of Rashawn Adams.
Coach Taylor and the Coyotes go to a little trickery.
That was a oh no, oh yes moment for the Coyotes.
You look at Mater Dei's defense react, and yes, Lincoln, I think the Monarchs feel like they had it sniffed out. I got it, you got it, we ain't got it.
Centennial comes away. The shenanigans result in a touchdown. Adams on the receiving end of the touchdown toss from Lindholm. Second score of the night for Centennial. As second quarter underway, Monarchs and Coyotes.
Tonight's Game Time starting lineups on Your View are brought to you by Batteries Plus Bulb Store. Power up at your neighborhood Batteries Plus Bulb Store or at batteriesplus.com.
Shopping online takes all of the hassle out of buying a car. And thanks to our redesigned website, Larry H. Miller Dealerships has made online car shopping even easier. One click shows you every vehicle for sale in the state. Estimate your payments and find a plan that works for you. Learn everything about the vehicle with a Carfax vehicle history and get the real value for your trade. Then stop by the dealership and pick up your new vehicle. Say hello to the future of car shopping at Larry H. Miller Dealerships. Online at lhmauto.com. Driven by you.
No guts, no glory. There are no second chances. This is Monster Jam. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Tickets start at $15. Coming to State Farm Stadium October 5th. See it live and bring the whole family.
That's not the score. First half still underway here at Centennial. Reminder, Rias Air Conditioning and Home Performance. It's time to rethink your AC company. Remember, it's hard to stop a train. And Big O Tires is the team you trust. Get the Big O Tires experience at bigotires.com. Centennial finding some positive moments and, well, some trick plays paying off for the most recent touchdown as they find their second score of this opening half. And they are back within 2 strikes of Mater Dei.
And that is within striking distance. 2 big plays, though, right? The Coyotes. We talked about the big run by Lindholm and the little slant action we saw from Morris to Young. Set up this touchdown we just all witnessed a moment ago.
You saw the throw from Lindholm. Do we have a quarterback controversy now at Centennial?
I think there was a lot of air under that throw. But you know what Daxon would say? He'd look us in the eye and he'd say, was it a touchdown pass?
It's called touch. He put the right amount of touch on that pass.
That's what he would say.
Good stuff. Joaquin Rodriguez has not been tested with his range on kicks. They trust him from better than 55 yards on a field goal. I don't think we're going to see either team trying to split the uprights on a field goal tonight.
It is a weapon, though.
Mater Dei has not attempted a field goal so far this year. There is that boot. And that is a nice job when you know you can pin Mater Dei back to a 75-yard field as they'll start 1st and 10 from the 25.
Don't think, especially putting up 27 points, a little over a quarter, don't expect that Mater Dei is going to drift very far from their 10 personnel, 4 wides. Look at film of Mater Dei, and easily 80-90% of the time, this is the way Mater Dei lines up. This is what they practice. This is what they're effective at. And they say, stop us.
We're at the midway point of the second quarter. Monarchs, all 27 of those points came in the first frame. The Centennial defense was able to come up with a stop. The offense with a score. Centennial looking for another stop here to get that football back.
I think like Elijah Brooks, senior defensive back. One of the guys stuck his nose in there and on the tackle.
Nice 6-yard gain on first down to keep Bryce Young and the Monarchs on schedule here. On the slant, as Ware Hudson, already a touchdown tonight. And a nice adjustment by the receiver to make that grab.
Even in slow motion, you watch the ball, the way Young spins it. Gets there in a hurry in slow motion. What is that effect called?
Normal speed?
Normal speed.
I used to be good at math.
It's impressive. That's what it is.
1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Now empty backfield. Still has Yates. Now has the first down. It is just hard for a secondary to keep up with this many receivers for that long. The kind of protection that Bryce Young had.
Offensive line. The guys moving furniture up front for the Monarchs. A tremendous job. As you said, again, Young uses his feet. You see quarterback coaches work with the guys in their room all the time on sliding, moving, keeping your eyes downfield, locate receiver, deliver football.
First down to C.J. Williams. Young fires the fastball. Did he get the toes in? They say no. Went right back to Williams.
I would hate to be that kid's mailman. You know, receiving a lot of attention.
And almost able to get, again at the high school level, just need one of those feet down, and that is close. Not sure if they thought the ball came out at the end. It is 2nd and 10. Little bobble where Hudson still in bounds. And now they'll blow the whistle. The play had started to give up, but I never heard a whistle till finally at the end there. Now they're going to bring it back. Yep, great job by the crew. Still a first down for Mater Dei. 5 wide for Bryce Young. On the move with a great toss that time. Fired into Zamora. They'll be short of the first down by about 3 yards.
Pressure came up the middle. Young avoids, shuffles. Finds his man. Threw the ball in a good spot with 2 defenders in the neighborhood.
See the down and distance. A short 3 yards to go here for Young and company. Young looking to continue the legacy of Division I quarterbacks. In 31 years, Bruce Rollinson has only had 1 starting quarterback that did not go D1. I mean, that is just incredible. And another first down here for the Monarchs. Well, high school and college football fans, be sure to check out Your View's recruiting podcast called Over the Middle. Over the Middle is hosted by recruiting guru Jeremy Crabtree. Each week, Jeremy will take you inside the huddle, interviewing players, coaches, and industry insiders in and around college football. All that and more each week on Over the Middle podcast. You can check it out at yourview.com. So in Centennial territory, a 1st and 10 from the 27 here for Bryce Young. Looking for their first score of the 2nd quarter. Downfield has, again, Cody Epps. And when you give Young that kind of time, he's going to make you pay. I do see one official with his hat off, but I don't believe they're going to say any receiver was ineligible on that. The touchdown will stand.
The scramble rules, you can tell that Mater Dei, like every team in America, they work on them, but these are some top shelf athletes doing work, and Epps and Young on the same page. Young understanding what Epps is going to do, Epps clear on what Young's intent will be.
And the extra point, good. So Mater Dei finds its first score of the second quarter with a little over 5 minutes to spare. Able to stretch that lead back to 3 full scores on the road tonight. Next door in Arizona, the national champs in town.
Phoenix Children's Medical Moments.
Every patient that I see, they want to get back in the game. We are the leading group in the state that takes care of dedicated pediatric sports medicine patients. I get kids back to doing what they love to do. They want an advantage to get them back, whether that be a week sooner, a day sooner, a month sooner, whatever it is. Going to a place that is pediatric focused will give you that advantage.
Here's what you've been waiting for. Arrowhead Honda's state-of-the-art showroom is now open. We're bigger, better, and ready to deal. Check out these offers.
Lease a 2019 Honda Civic LX Sedan CVT for just $89 a month, or a 2019 Honda CR-V LX two-wheel drive for $135 a month.
So come on down and check out our brand new showroom. Find your new car at Arrowhead Honda at Bell Road and the 101.
Mater Dei strikes here in the second quarter. About 5 minutes to go. As a reminder, when you're injured in an accident, you want the highest compensation for your claim. The Phillips Law Group has recovered over $750 million for over 150,000 clients. Give them a call at 602-222-2222. Lincoln Rose, Bill Colhane, Haley Stasiak down on the sidelines tonight. Great to have you with us here on Your View. Mater Dei from Santa Ana, California, colliding with the champs here in Arizona and the den of the Coyotes of Centennial. Centennial's put some positives together. Spinning out of tackles, and this next drive will start at the 34-yard line for the Coyotes offense. What a return for Dax Lindholm, who has done a little bit of everything and a lot of some other things.
Kept his feet moving, right? Did a lot of that on his own, showing some strength.
Still not QB1.
Still not QB1, Jonathan Morse. He's got that held down. The guy's got a lot of starts under his belt, but we know Lindholm can deliver the throwback pass effectively.
5 minutes to go here, just about.
8 senior starters on this offense for the Coyotes.
And just not going to connect there. The break took too long for Haney to get upfield.
As a matter of fact, I just pointed out all the vets on the offensive side of the ball. Aguilar at right guard is the only underclassman starter, the sophomore. So again, I think it provides a little bit of evidence of what the Monarchs have been able to do defensively. But it's been the Young show.
Going to have a Wildcat here with that other Young, Jaden Young. Young calls his own number. And as elusive as he can be, that swarming Monarchs defense finally catches up to him after 5 yards. As it'll be 3rd and 5, and Young took a hit.
Yeah, I think it was David Bailey, a sophomore, who came up and really whacked him. I guess also in on the play, and Dean Neely, a guy Coach Rollinson's talked about, a guy who's improved a lot in the offseason. But that was a hit.
3rd and 4 coming up. Morris back in at quarterback. Has his receiver. This time they connect. Altering course, eyeing the end zone, and they'll be finally stopped 2 yards shy. Caden Miller. Let's check in with Haley down on the sideline. So after the 57-yard strike,
Centennial was setting up screen action there, and the tight end was able to run right by the defensive back.
just trying to get to the edge. The ground forces that ball loose, but Jonathan Morris just ran out of steam down at the 1 yard line.
Bootleg action there, design play. Morris showing his ability to move his feet as it's Sagiao who's down. Let's hope he's okay.
Joshua Sagiao, the junior. Morris able to keep this alive. Comes up a yard short.
I like it. Bootleg action with a lead blocker leading the way. Just kind of stumbled there at the end, did Morris. Otherwise, he might have been able to get to the goal line. I didn't see what happened to Sagiao, but that's where the traffic was.
All right, let's check in with Haley here.
Guys, we've seen a lot of Jaden Young. He set up that last scoring drive for the Coyotes. Obviously, the Coyotes pushing down the field here as well. He is a 3-year varsity starter. He's got offers from Purdue, Air Force, Colorado State, Harvard, Nevada, NAU, San Diego State, Yale, and many more sure to come. But he's obviously getting it done in the classroom as well with those other big offers. But his older brother, Dedrick Young, played at Nebraska. He was a 4-year starter at linebacker. He was recently released by the Cleveland Browns this past weekend. But Jaden knows what it's going to take to get it done at the next level.
Yeah, all that, a great point there, as really both these programs, if you follow them on social media, they continue to monitor some of their alumni at the NFL level. You see there the ice on the eye of Young. But he is going to have plenty of options as Jaden Young. You know, one of his options, if he doesn't wind up being a professional on Sundays, he might have a headset on, not as a play caller, but as a gamer. He's already nationally ranked as one of your best in the country with a video game controller in his hands.
330th in the world, not in Arizona, not in the greater Phoenix area, 330th in the world in Fortnite. Now, my youngest son plays Fortnite. I do not. I know that's hard to believe. But, yeah, but in all seriousness, it shows you how diverse, how well-rounded the young man is. I mean, being recruited by Harvard.
At this point, it's only going to be breaking news if we find something he's not good at.
That is very true. And clearly, as Haley pointed out, the bloodlines. And Sagiao going to be helped off the field. Clearly, obviously, all the best to him.
They bring out the 6'5" teammates for him to lean on.
Sagiao, a junior, provides some depth up front for defensive coordinator Eric Johnson and the Monarchs.
And Morris is already down, of course, on that play here at the high school and college level, but you see where the injury occurred. Centennial still knocking on the door for a score here.
Both of these programs talk about the coaching staffs. I include in that the trainers as well, the medical staffs as well will obviously do their utmost to take care of Josh Sagiao.
So they came up a yard short on the last play. Let's see what they have in mind here.
Looks like they're going to go again to that diamond formation. Some I've heard referred to it as the reverse bone.
Goal line defense for Mater Dei was not enough to stop Centennial the last time we saw this scenario. And the surge from behind as Morris is in. And we have ourselves a ball game here.
Morris, it's a design quarterback sneak there and gets a little push, a little help from his friends behind.
It's legal these days. Back when Leinert was still playing college, they talked about the Bush push. You get nearly 300 pounds behind you. You have no choice but to score 6 points.
I used to have flowing locks. As hard as that is maybe for you to believe right now, Lincoln, I did.
Get you a shampoo endorsement. So they will go for 2. They've done the math. Some teams might think this is too early. Those teams would be wrong in this case, as he's able to find Brad Young. And that'll make up for the missed extra point earlier tonight.
Every team during the course of the week of practice, you go over your 2-point plays, and good execution there. A little bit of misdirection. You get defense going in different directions, and we've talked about Bryce Young tonight for good reason. But there are 2 really good quarterbacks on this football field tonight.
Can we talk about the instant feedback these teams are getting with those monitors down on the sidelines? The game has changed and how quickly you have to make adjustments, especially at this level.
We used to use chalk and boards back in my day. But we didn't have lights at my high school field. I'm being serious there.
You had wheels and fire, right?
No. And yes, we had face masks. But no, seriously. My high school, we didn't play at home on Friday nights. Our home games were on Saturdays. We went on the road to play on Friday nights. And no, we didn't have video monitors on the sideline.
So Centennial has found a couple of scores here. Another touchback in this second quarter. Again, both these teams constantly trying to get an upper edge, as the Coyotes have the attention of the Monarchs and vice versa here tonight.
The score's 34-21. This game is one big play going in the Coyotes' favor of being nip and tuck. And Lincoln, to be frank with you, you look at the way this first half has played out, and more has gone right for the Monarchs than the Coyotes, but the Coyotes sticking around.
Jonathan Morris saying if Lindholm gets to throw a touchdown, I get to rush for a touchdown.
With help.
A bit. Coyotes defense trying to get this ball back. Still composed, still hits his man in stride. And coming out of bounds, and that will be a 15 ill-advised horse collar. There was no need, as Dixon had already come out of bounds.
Yeah, out of bounds. Everything you said there. You have to.
Williams just frustrated that he hadn't finished the play, and right in front of the official will drag him down. But again, it all starts with Young keeping this play alive.
Yeah, you got to have more discipline there. He's trying to help his team, and I don't know, maybe he didn't understand where he was in respect to being in the field of play. But
and then again, there's a reason why that's a personal foul on the tackle. That in terms of the horse collar, that can break a man's leg. We've seen it so many times, and yet we haven't been able to get that out of the game yet.
It's an awkward way to be taken down to the field. There's little doubt about that.
Young. Pretty good plan B. And they will blow the play dead ultimately as a sitting duck, Quincy Craig, after he'd been tied up after the catch.
Nose guard Andy Belmontes gets outside. Look at this. This is a nose guard getting out to the sideline.
There might be a rodeo future there for Seth Lane. Able to tie up Craig at the ankles, put an end to the play. From the 17. Monarchs trying to squeeze in at least one more score. Little play action. Breaking tackles, high stepping into the end zone. Ware Hudson again. His second strike tonight.
Young provides the football in such a position that he sets up his receivers for a lot of this. Now, these are talented guys on the outside for Mater Dei, make no mistake. Man, Young is a helper to the wideouts.
He celebrates with Ty Marks, one of those big men who have helped keep the quarterback upright tonight.
Yeah, the right tackle. Bookend tackles for Mater Dei to help Young and his offensive weapons.
A 41-point first half for Mater Dei against the state champs on the road here in Arizona. And the lead now at 20. With that said, Mater Dei has struggled slowing down Centennial's offense now that they have started to click here at home. Can Centennial find another scoring drive inside these final 3 minutes?
You spent a lot of time talking about Cody Epps for good reason. Spent a lot of time talking about C.J. Williams for good reason. Ware Hudson, he's a good one as well.
Fourth touchdown pass in the first half for Young, as he has found 3 different receivers in the end zone for those 4 scores.
That takes Young to 11 touchdown passes on the year, 1 pick. What does that extrapolate out to over the course of 14 games or so? 15 games.
A state championship.
State championship. A national championship?
They're in the discussion.
They're in the discussion.
I think the lowest anybody has them right now is at number 3. But again, Centennial has been putting up a fight, capable of moving the football as well. From the 5. Looking for a little misdirection. And up to about the 16-yard line.
Saw Coyotes use some trickery, resulted in a touchdown earlier in the ball game. They're trying to run a little reverse, get the Monarchs kickoff coverage unit filling their lanes and then shading one way, and unable to trick Mater Dei on that kickoff return.
Both teams with 2 of their 3 touchdowns, 2 of their 3 timeouts still available here in this first half.
There may be 2 or 3 more touchdowns available as well, the way these offenses have been clicking.
Morris 5 of 3 passing tonight, entering this drive. 5 of 13. Lone touchdown toss again from Lindholm. There you see Dax. He'll be back next year, just a junior.
George Roeder, one of the starting guards, a veteran on the offensive line for the Coyotes, looked like he was a little shaken up at the end of that play, kind of ended up taking a hit down low.
2-yard loss, 2nd and 12 here.
Coach Taylor considers Roeder the leader on the offensive line.
And throwing into double coverage, trying to test Domani Jackson. Again, the sophomore almost picks one off.
Rajon Davis had his sights on the pick as well. Yep, it's a hot night tonight in the Valley.
Andy Belmontes and both teams eager to get in that locker room. He's hoping, though, his Coyotes find one more score, but a wide receiver with the false start, a big no-no.
This is reminiscent of how the first drive of the football game went for the Coyotes, if you remember. After the initial kickoff return, there was a penalty and backed up to the shadow of their own goalpost.
If you're a wide receiver, you simply can't anticipate the snap.
Unless you're playing in the Canadian Football League.
I can tell you, based on the measurement of Fahrenheit of the weather tonight as opposed to Celsius, we are not. Although the temperature would look a lot nicer in Celsius. Still keeping his eyes downfield, out of the pocket when he throws it away, as Morris will make sure that they don't give up any more ground before they have to punt this football. And now it's the Monarchs, still with 2 timeouts left, who could find another score here, as we do have a flag down, and the quarterback was out of the pocket. And the question is, did it reach the line of scrimmage? That's the answer. No, it did not. So they're going to mark him down essentially as a sack back inside the 5.
Yeah, Morris, a left-handed quarterback, rolling out to his right under duress and tried to get his shoulders turned to get enough oomph on the ball to get it past the line of scrimmage. And also Morris, you might have noticed at the end of the play, trying to talk to his receivers about making themselves available, helping them out. We talked about scramble rules earlier.
Leuteli was giving chase. Again, if you're out of the pocket, you don't have to have a receiver in the area, but you still have to get that ball back to the line of scrimmage. And Mater Dei should have a very short field. You don't even have the 15 yards you'd like for your punter here. A poor snap, and this is a safety.
And usually this negatively impacts your ability to cover punts.
2 more points for the Monarchs, and they're about to get the football back after a safety. The second time they have found points on special teams tonight.
Low snap, hard for a punter to play it on the short hop. But almost looked like for a moment the punter was able to create maybe enough room to even rugby style punt it out of there.
Would have been your only option.
And what have I said before? It's easy to make that determination sitting up here in the safety and the comfort of a press box.
We don't have Monarchs breathing down our necks.
But it does illustrate again, doesn't it, Lincoln, how important special teams is?
Well, and you talked about that with both coaches.
Exactly, and Coach Taylor talked about how at minimum the Coyotes spend 20 minutes a day of practice time on it. Coach Rollinson echoed the same thing. And for some folks, it's time to go grab the popcorn and the soda when a special teams play is going on. But the most yardage in a football game happens in special teams. When you think about kickoff coverage, punt coverage, and then obviously your kicking game.
So again, a free kick following the safety. Mater Dei gets the 2 points and about to get the football, and they're going to opt to put the ball on the tee for this kick. With that said, if anybody's going to kick off from his own 20, this is the guy you want. Rodriguez has a leg. Now, there is such thing as out kicking your coverage, but I think he's going to unleash here.
Boot it. Kick it to Scottsdale.
Not cheated on that one. But here's the return for the Monarchs. Waiting for the blocks to fall into place. Across midfield. Cutting back up on his feet, Quincy Craig will bring it all the way back to the 20-yard line. And the Monarchs are in business with 1.5 minutes to go until halftime.
Lincoln, prior to the kickoff, you mentioned out-kicking your coverage. That happens, but you know what else happens, and you touched on it. Sometimes kick and punt returners will outrun their blocking.
Yeah. You saw a hesitation. Craig, I'm not going to fault the kicker there. You got men down in time to stop this return. But Craig, just a little hesitation, able to get all of his blockers in place.
And he's a running back. So he already has that ability, right? He sees, his vision is different.
We've only played a half of football. You see the yardage for Bryce Young.
There's a lot more excitement left in this game when you think about the student athletes, the Coyotes and the Monarchs running around on this football field tonight.
Young is 19 of 24 through the air. 4 touchdown tosses. There were, again, a pair of flags there, both being enforced. Monarchs got the 2 points on the safety and possession. And that will be a slight saving grace for Centennial that this ball is being brought back to the 50 after the enforcement of both fouls.
And negates a really tremendous kickoff return by Craig.
Again, Monarchs have both timeouts plus the high school level. The clock will stop briefly after each first down for the sticks to move. So Bryce Young has the whole field to work with. A first half with just a little over 30 yards rushing, an 8-yard gain there. And actually, now I'm trying to relive it. That may have been actually a pass to Ware Hudson.
Jet sweep.
Yeah. So more passing yardage for Young. 2nd and 2.
Saw Dana Holgerson in West Virginia use that against Clemson. What was that? 5-6 years ago in the Orange Bowl.
Down the middle. Clock briefly stops without using a timeout at the 23-yard line. Just so many impressive playmakers downfield. They go back to Cody Epps there. And they are ready to snap this ball. And a timeout's going to be burned by Centennial. Their second timeout. They were going to be caught with too many men on the field and wind up giving Mater Dei a free play. Well, Centennial really was starting to click, but what a punch to the gut this would be if Mater Dei was able to reach 50 in the first half with a late touchdown here.
You think about when the Coyotes had success offensively, meaning able to score the ball, the Monarchs always have the answer, right? It's like that prize heavyweight fighter who might take one on the chin, but immediately answers back with a counter punch.
Bryce Young's not averaging a first down per completion. He's averaging a first down per attempt.
Is that good?
As, again, here in the first half, over 330 yards through the air.
You know what I think about Bryce Young? I think it's like a lot of really good players who, when the lights come on, a special game like this clearly is, it really gets his attention.
Yeah. And he has excelled. He doesn't do it alone, though.
Oh, my God.
Bryce Young, while he is poised in the pocket, that pocket has been intact. You talk about guys like your center, George Mickey Hahn, a 2-year starter, getting offers now at the next level, anchoring this offensive line. A timeout was called by Centennial. Inside a minute here, 1st and 10 for the Monarchs. And just like that, for a 5th time tonight, Bryce Young with a touchdown toss. It's back to Cody Epps.
And it's back to, I believe, the same route we saw on the first touchdown of the night, where Epps uses that body, uses that speed, uses that athleticism to get inside the defender. Yep, it's just a post.
Epps is over 100 yards receiving this half. Now 5 touchdown catches already through 2.5 weeks of high school football.
It's that route you used to run with your friends in the street where you say, run up to the Buick and take a 45.
50. The Monarchs have put up 50 on the state champs here in the first half. As you talk about a Mater Dei squad already hitting a midseason stride. A little less than a minute to go. Centennial about to get this football back. And this is a complete effort for Mater Dei so far. Offense, defense, special teams. And as much as you and I and individuals can focus on Bryce Young, he is surrounded by so much talent out there. They do not disappoint.
A lot of colleges have taken note. And as the game's progressed here through the first half, I'm sure many in our audience have noted Mater Dei's uniforms. The Monarchs actually wear a patch honoring the 1st Marine Division Guadalcanal. That's that patch you see on the front of the jersey. I think a little bit later in the broadcast we'll talk more about Mater Dei's Monarchs for Marines program.
He talked about how the academics were right there with the championships on the gridiron. These are well-balanced student athletes with their priorities in place. Final minute of the opening half. Coyotes, who just gave up 9 points on a safety and a touchdown to follow. They had pulled this within 2 scores, only now to have their largest deficit as we get close to halftime.
Still plenty of time for this Coyotes offense, though, especially when you have a field general like Morris, Jonathan Morris, running the show.
Goes back to I formation. You know, it's a Mater Dei defense hoping for one more explosive play on their end, while Mark Jacob gets the carry.
Yeah, it looks like the Coyotes not in a particular hurry here to move the ball. So go into the locker room, make the adjustments, kind of hit the reset button and come back out.
Should just take one more snap of the football. And running into his own line, that'll do it for the opening 24 minutes of play. The champs of California colliding with the champs here in Arizona. Mater Dei, ranked by many as #1, not just in the Golden State, but in the US of A. And they are showing us why tonight. In a moment, we'll try to track down their head coach. As again, Bruce Rawlinson already has eclipsed 300 victories with this program. And Bryce Young is just yet another Division I quarterback to come through the halls of Mater Dei, and yet another one that'll wind up over there in LA with USC and those Trojans.
Yeah, talked about Coach Rawlinson, his resume. Win number 300 actually came at the start of this 2019 season, and quite an accomplished career and quite a first half by his Monarchs football team.
So 50-21 the edge for Mater Dei here at the half. As let's go ahead and toss it down to Haley. She's joined by Coach.
Coach, an efficient first half by this offense. What are you seeing out of Bryce Young, your guys, that you really like?
Well, you know, what's the audience seeing? I mean, he's made the throws. You know, he's, you know, there was a coverage sack. Other than that, you know, the front five are doing a great job. He brought some blitz late in the first and early in the second, but, you know, that's when he started torching them, you know. So he's been phenomenal. I mean, he had a no-look over here. But, you know, obviously it's a well-coached football team. You know, 2 of the touchdowns or 2 of the big gains were us just not, you know, doing our job. The other one was a well-designed play that I'll probably copy from him for down the road.
Centennial's threatened in the red zone. What are you going to have to do in the second half to keep them at bay?
We got to get the defense woken back up. We got to keep laying the wood, and you know, we got to keep scoring points, you know, and then you know, get back to Southern California.
Out of the heat, right, Coach?
Yeah, well, it's pretty nice right now. I mean, there's a reason why you guys live here, but it wasn't at 4 o'clock this afternoon. It's at 9 o'clock at night.
All right, thanks, Coach. Guys, back to you.
Haley, thank you very much. That's not the first interview in Bruce Rawlinson's career. His men have the lead on the road tonight here in the home of the Coyotes. A 50-21 edge for Mater Dei as our halftime coverage continues when you rejoin us here on Your View.
Game Time High School football coverage on Your View is sponsored by Larry H. Miller Dealerships, proud to support Arizona high school football, driven by you. Rias, it's time to rethink your AC company, and by Phoenix Children's, nationally ranked, locally focused. Join us all fall long for some of the top high school football teams from around the country on Game Time every Friday night.
Busy. That's life for you. So while you get to it, we're going nonstop to keep you running. no running around. For new key fobs, plus your neighborhood's largest selection of batteries plus bulbs. Plus, if your phone needs fixing, we do that too. Know how, right now. That's our specialty. Stop by Batteries Plus Bulbs for screen repair, key fob programming, battery replacement, and more. Learn more at batteriesplus.com.
I'm Jeffrey Phillips of Phillips Law Group. My Arizona law firms have helped more than 155,000 clients in the past 25 plus years. So if you're injured in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, please remember that insurance companies are not on your side. Not your insurance company, and certainly not the other drivers. After an accident, call Phillips Law Group at 602-222-2222 or look for us online at phillipslaw.com.
Monster Jam, where it's winner takes all. There are no second chances, no guts, no glory. See Gravedigger, Megalodon, and more compete for the championship. Experience adrenaline-charged family entertainment. This is Monster Jam. Presented by official partners America's Best Contacts and Eyeglasses and BKT Tires. Tickets start at $15. Coming to State Farm Stadium October 5th. Lock in your seats today.
Game Time Halftime is brought to you by Barrows. Parents, learn the signs and symptoms of concussion at barrowneuro.org/concussion discussion. Join us all fall long for some of the top high school football from around the country on Game Time. You're watching Game Time on YearView. For more in-depth coverage of the top players around, recruiting updates, behind-the-scenes access, and more, check out YearView.com.
My name is Javier Cardenas. I'm the director of the Barrow Concussion and Brain Injury Center here at Barrow Neurological Institute. I'm a neurologist. I specialize in concussion and traumatic brain injury. We have a program here that takes care of all the issues associated with concussion and brain injury, whether they be the physical ones, such as headaches and dizziness and sleep problems, the emotional changes associated with brain injury, including anxiety, depression, and agitation, or some of the cognitive or thinking problems we see with concussion, trouble with focus, short-term memory, calculations, and finding words. Some of the mythology around concussions has to do with how severe an injury may look at the time. Concussion myth number one is that you have to lose consciousness to have a concussion. So not everybody who gets a concussion actually gets knocked out. It may be the most obvious, but it's actually the least common. Another myth is that somebody who loses consciousness or gets knocked out has a worse concussion than somebody who does not. While we are concerned at the time for something more serious than a concussion, like a bleed, it doesn't predict who's going to get better faster. Concussion myth number three is that rest is best. Indeed, when somebody sustains a concussion, we want them to rest for 24, 48 hours, maybe 72 hours. But beyond that, becoming interactive again, whether that's physically, socially, academically, is actually going to help your brain. We want to avoid another injury, another impact to the head while they're recovering, but being physically active is actually quite good for you. What a patient can expect when they come to see us is that we care about everything that they're experiencing, whether it's those physical things, whether it's those behavioral changes, whether it's those cognitive problems. We're going to ask you about them, and we're going to ask you details about each and every one of them. We're also going to ask about the injury and whether or not it's consistent with a concussion or traumatic brain injury or something else. And then we're going to see if indeed your recovery is typical or atypical. Is it normal or abnormal? We're very fortunate to have a comprehensive team here at the Barrow Concussion and Brain Injury Center. We have a team of neuropsychologists who can analyze the thinking aspects associated with concussion. We have a psychiatrist who can address the mood problems. And we have neurologists to address those physical symptoms associated with concussion, including headaches and imbalance. We also have a team of therapists, physical, occupational, and speech, to address balance issues, vision issues, and thinking issues in a neurological rehabilitation format. For more information about concussion and what you can do if you sustain a concussion, visit barrowneuro.org/concussion discussion.
This is our National Football Foundation and College Football Hall of Fame Valley of the Sun chapter. We honor scholar athletes from northern and central Arizona, 188 high schools, and the 6 colleges are represented here.
Ultimately the cream of the crop from an athletic perspective, but in the classroom they're also number 1, number 2 in their class. They're the valedictorian, they're also student council presidents, and these guys are out there in the communities doing just as much as they are on the field as they are in the classroom as well. So it's a pretty even split. They're pretty remarkable young men.
It's a huge honor to just be even mentioned by the NFF. A lot of great players in the state of Arizona, great in the classroom, great on the field, so it's a huge honor.
I think if we can continue to show that we have these great events where we're honoring all of these great kids, we can hopefully expand and offer more help in the future.
Here's what you've been waiting for. Arrowhead Honda's state-of-the-art showroom is now open. We're bigger, better, and ready to deal. Check out these offers.
Lease a 2019 Honda Civic LX Sedan CVT for just $89 a month. Or a 2019 Honda Accord LX CVT for only $139 a month.
So come on down and check out our brand new showroom. Find your new car at Arrowhead Honda at Bell Road and the 101.
What is Valle Luna Mexican Food and Cantinas? We are a true Arizona original, serving carefully prepared, authentic Sonoran-style cuisine since 1983. We are time-honored family recipes using only the freshest ingredients. Good fun, a family place, a gathering place. We are happy faces and happy hours. We are your new favorite neighborhood hangout. Valle Luna Mexican Food and Cantinas.
No guts, no glory. There are no second chances. This is Monster Jam. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Tickets start at $15. Coming to State Farm Stadium October 5th. See it live and bring the whole family.
I'm jilting them, like, I saw you're in town, you didn't reach out. Like, nah, let me show you my Google Map blue dot. Great. Our Barrow Neurological halftime continues. Again, 50-21 your score. And a reminder, when you're injured in an accident, you want the highest compensation for your claim. The Phillips Law Group has recovered over $750 million for over 150,000 clients. Give them a call at 602-222-2222. Again, it is halftime here in Arizona. Centennial hosting Mater Dei. Lincoln Rose, Bill Colhane with you. And let's check back in down on the sideline with Haley.
Welcome back into the Barrow Neurological Institute halftime show. Haley Stasiak out here at Centennial High School in Peoria, where the Centennial Coyotes are taking on the Mater Dei Monarchs. We've got a score of 50-21. The Monarchs are leading. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the top games around the state of Arizona this week. We've got Arcadia at Washington. Head coach Kerry Taylor has the Titans off to a 2-0 start. The Rams are off to a 2-0 start, also averaging 51.5 points per game. South Point Catholic at Desert Edge. Dennis Benet's Lancers rolled in their opener, with Texas-bound running back Bijan Robinson scoring 5 times, including a kick return for a touchdown. Head coach Dennis Benet announced that this will be his last season. He will be retiring after the 2019 season. This might be South Point's toughest game of the season. The Scorpions are led by sophomore Adrian Lara, who threw for 444 yards and 3 touchdowns in the season opener. And then we've got Horizon at Pinnacle. This is a neighborhood rivalry. They're right up the street in Scottsdale. The Huskies have rolled up 105 points in 2 games, with quarterback Jake Martinelli having 6 touchdowns last week against Higley, 277 yards passing and 207 yards rushing for Martinelli. Pinnacle dominated a good Mountain Point team last week, shutting them out. They're looking to challenge Chandler as the state's top dog in the open division. Now for the Phillips Law Group prime-time players. Darvon Hubbard of Willow Canyon. He's a Chaparral transfer. He scored all 7 of the team's touchdowns in a 42-0 win over El Mirage. Day Hunter out of Chandler had 9 carries for 144 yards and 4 touchdowns in the Wolves' big win over Queen Creek last week. Mentioned Jake Martinelli out of Horizon running for 207 yards, throwing for 277 yards, and accounting for 6 touchdowns as the Huskies move on to 2-0 with a 52-28 win over Higley. Zion Burns out of Post and Butte set a school record with 262 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns in the 44-26 win over Combs. That's your Phillips Law Group Primetime Players of the Week. We have got a really good one out here in Peoria with Centennial and Mater Dei. Again, the score 50-21 Monarchs here at the half. We'll come back with more highlights and updates with the Barrow Neurological Institute halftime show.
I'm attorney Jeffrey Phillips of Phillips Law Group, and I recommend when you hire an injury lawyer, demand the best service. You're entitled to it. Phillips Law Group cares about you, and our team is dedicated to providing you with the best experience during this difficult period. It takes time to get the results you deserve, but we will work diligently on your case. Keep in touch with you and return your phone calls as quickly as possible. Phillips Law Group, 602-222-2222, or go to phillipslaw.com.
If you think it's hot now, think again. We'll be shattering the century mark before you know it. And if your AC isn't ready for the summer, this year, you need to rethink your AC service. Whether you have an AC emergency, are experiencing hot rooms, or high utility bills, or your current system has seen its final days, Rias delivers guaranteed solutions. Call for your free home energy performance evaluation today. Rethink your home's comfort and energy efficiency with Rias, where they always say, it's hard to stop a train. Visit Rias.com.
Phoenix Children's Medical Moments.
Scoliosis is a curvature of the spine. With the magnitude of the surgery, you really get to know these families, and I've been doing it long enough where I've got kids bringing me their kids, which, makes you feel really young. By the first day after surgery, we're getting them up and getting them walking. Fortunately, most kids that come into my office that truly have scoliosis never need surgery. The most rewarding part is when you've changed somebody's life for the better.
Busy. That's life for you. So while you get to it, we're going non-stop to keep you running. No running around. For new key fobs, plus your neighborhood's largest selection of batteries plus bulbs. Plus, if your phone needs fixing, we do that too. Know how, right now. That's our specialty. Stop by Batteries Plus Bulbs for screen repair, key fob programming, battery replacement, and more. Learn more at batteriesplus.com.
Our coverage continues here at the halftime. Time now for the Barrow Neurological Institute halftime highlights and stats. Parents, learn the signs and symptoms of concussion at barrowneuro.org/concussion discussion. And Bill, the fireworks started early and then often then in that opening quarter of this one.
Exactly right. It started with good defense by Mater Dei, and then you see right there, good job punching the ball in by Quincy Craig.
Special teams then would answer with the second touchdown as Hunter would take it in for Mater Dei after the block.
Yeah, and then a big offensive play, Daxon Lindholm for Centennial, trying to take it to the house, and then you see right there, Horsecollar added a personal foul to the end of it and set things up for Centennial.
That would allow the Coyotes to start building some confidence going into that second quarter, but when you have Mr. Young, you're always in the ball game. Never give up on a play.
Yeah, absolutely. Great with his feet, great with his arm, and able to find a number of different targets here in the first half. And then a little trickery by the Coyotes. You see Lindholm had a big run, and there's a big pass completion for a touchdown to Rayshawn Adams, the senior.
Well, it was a half where Young threw for 357 yards, 5 touchdown strikes to 3 different receivers, including double dipping with Epps and Ware Hudson, as Mater Dei would put up 50 points in the first half. With that opposing quarterback, Jonathan Morris, he saw a receiver throw for a touchdown, so he decided to tuck one in and rush in for the score.
With a little help from his friends, a little shove in the back to get him into the promised land.
Young, relentless, his second touchdown strike to Epps, who had 7 catches for 125 yards and 2 scores in those first 2 quarters. Are there any fireworks left? We have another half of football coming your way here. It's game time on Your View.
My name is Javier Cardenas. I'm the director of the Barrow Concussion and Brain Injury Center here at Barrow Neurological Institute. We're very fortunate to have a comprehensive team here at the Barrow Concussion and Brain Injury Center. We have a team of neuropsychologists who can analyze the thinking aspects. We have a psychiatrist who can address the mood problems. And we have neurologists to address those physical symptoms associated with concussion. We also have a team of therapists to address balance issues, vision issues, and thinking issues in a neurological rehabilitation format. If you suspect a concussion in your athlete on the field, immediately remove them. The message, when in doubt, sit them out. Second, it's never too early to go in and see a healthcare professional about this particular injury. Also, tell the teacher, tell others at the school. That way they know how to adapt to the issues that your student is having. For more information about concussion, visit barrowneuro.org/concussion discussion.
Here's what you've been waiting for. Arrowhead Honda's state-of-the-art showroom is now open. We're bigger, better, and ready to deal. Check out these offers.
Lease a 2019 Honda Civic LX Sedan CVT for just $89 a month. Or a 2019 Honda Accord LX CVT for only $139 a month.
So come on down and check out our brand new showroom. Find your new car at Arrowhead Honda at Bell Road and the 101.
If you think it's hot now, think again. We'll be shattering the century mark before you know it. And if your AC isn't ready for the summer, this year, you need to rethink your AC service. Whether you have an AC emergency, are experiencing hot rooms, or high utility bills, or your current system has seen its final days, Rias delivers guaranteed solutions. Call for your free home energy performance evaluation today. Rethink your home's comfort and energy efficiency with Rias, where they always say, it's hard to stop a train. Visit Rias.com.
No guts, no glory. There are no second chances. This is Monster Jam. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Tickets start at $15. Coming to State Farm Stadium October 5th. See it live and bring the whole family.
The Coyotes, a lot of good things they can hang their hat on in the first half, but find themselves trailing on the scoreboard against the Monarchs a little bit earlier. Haley had a chance to catch up with head coach of Centennial, Richard Taylor. Let's check in with Haley.
Well, the first thing I asked Coach was what they've got to do to get momentum going in this second half. And he said simply, we have to stop them, especially defensively. Offensively, they've got to straighten things up, and he said he's hoping they got things clarified there at halftime. I also asked him about those big red zone errors that Mater Dei has made that has allowed Centennial to capitalize. And he said as long as we can continue to do that and continue to fight, most importantly, we hopefully can get the job done. Guys, back to you.
And of course, when Richard Taylor won that first game as head coach 30 years ago, he became the all-time winningest coach in this program. He is the only head coach Centennial has ever known. And you talk about the struggles to open the doors of a new high school to what he has now established 3 decades later.
How much pride must you have if you're the head coach who went from unboxing the socks and the jocks to lifting up those state championship trophies? What a job he and his staff and community have done.
When his son Andrew first suited up for him, he was a strong safety and a tight end to start. Slowly ate his way closer to the line, would wind up being a defensive tackle for the Tulsa Golden Hurricane, and now, of course, is defensive coordinator for Centennial, and that defense about to come out. Mr. Craig has already found his way into the end zone. A variety of Monarchs finding success in that first half. We did see the backup quarterback for Mater Dei start to aggressively warm up in Sky Solinsky. We'll see if he has an opportunity at some point in this ball game to come on, but it is Bryce Young. I noted his numbers in that first half: 22 of 27, 357 yards, 5 touchdowns. The Coyotes did get to him twice for sacks.
For a lot of guys, those numbers would be a great month.
So Young and Craig in the backfield.
Having to do a little uniform adjustment here. Tuck in the jersey.
It's a civilized sport.
At times. Look at that big offensive line.
If we were playing on a rain-drenched, muddy field, I think Bryce Young's uniform would still be pretty much the same color. He has kept plays alive. Legs and arm on display. A dagger to Kyron Ware-Hudson. You want to call him one of his favorite targets, but just about every receiver has been a favorite and involved tonight by the quarterback, Bryce Young.
Yeah, Ware-Hudson, he just looks for a soft spot, avoid, good combination route run there by the Monarchs and thread the needle.
That'll make him the second receiver to surpass the century mark here tonight.
Bryson Thomas, the middle linebacker, felt like he was there.
And now it just feels like they're running some drills in practice as he finds Epps for the first time here in the third quarter.
Epps had 5 receptions, a touchdown against Corona Centennial, a noted, prominent high school team in California, and then 5 grabs, 80 yards, a score against Villa Park.
Yeah, that Villa Park victory again last weekend, 63-7. Centennial's defense getting a test like none other that it has had for this past decade. They've had some stops tonight. And mentioned there's certainly been some positives on offense as well for the Coyotes, but Cody Epps able to stay in bounds, lose a couple of defenders before finally pushed out by Rashawn Adams.
Wyoming, just one of the teams looking at Cody Epps, and you mentioned earlier, Lincoln, about both of these programs putting so many players into Division I football. Jalen Ortiz, who played for Centennial, is an assistant coach. Guess where? Wyoming.
Oh, a blow to the head, gets the pass off, incomplete. Don't see a flag down. But a tough shot, and there is the flag, sure enough.
Player safety has become, and rightfully so, become such a big story.
You're going to see an open hand come swatting down on Bryce Young when he releases this throw, and oh, that is not a good look. Young a little hobbled there. And I don't know if he's trying to convince his teammates he's good, but I would think you have got to bring him off.
Yeah, Ware-Hudson in particular, you see in the middle of the screen, checking on his quarterback, and just the way the other Monarchs reacted, you can tell what high regard in which they hold their leader, their quarterback, Young.
For the first time on offense, Bryce Young will not be on the field for a snap. Another look. You'll see it after he releases the hand come down right top of that helmet.
And got obviously Young, the face mask, now protecting that area. Just enough room for the hand to get in there. I don't think there was any intent there on the part of the Coyote. It's a physical game.
Quincy Craig trying to make the most of it, a couple of yards on first down. And again, Sky Solinsky, your backup quarterback, this is not the situation he thought he was coming in. They list him at 6 feet. The junior has yet to attempt a toss this year. Does have 1 rushing touchdown.
So barring a transfer in for Mater Dei in the offseason, the prospective heir apparent to Young.
You don't think Jalen Hurts is coming? Play action, Solinsky. And he gets a lick as Centennial puts an end to that. Now third down.
Thud.
As Jaden Young receives some hits like that and gets to deliver one. And we'll say a good sign here with Bryce Young able to come back on at quarterback. Again, certainly hope what we saw was just him getting poked in an eye as opposed to having his cage rattled.
You know, in a 50-21 game, Coach Rollinson wouldn't be taking any chances with his All-American and QB1.
On 3rd and 7, tucks it down. And the Coyotes will concede 6 yards. It's going to be 4th and 1. And from what we've seen from the Monarchs tonight, we anticipate they'll go for it here. And slow to get up, Joe Salazar, the senior defensive end.
A senior starter for the Coyotes. Coyotes, especially on the defensive side of the ball, so many pieces having to be replaced off of last season's state championship team.
Last time Mater Dei went for it on 4th down, the result was a touchdown.
Sometimes that's what happens to you defensively, right? You're trying to protect that 1 yard, 2 yards of ground, and you end up giving up the big play. Look at all the guys in the box there. And then you have press coverage.
And 4th and 1 is going to become 4th and 6. I don't think that changes the mindset here, though, for the Monarchs in terms of going for it.
It looked like Miles Murao, the anchor of the offensive line, Washington commit.
One of your co-captains. What a crowd tonight for high school football.
Yeah, just trying to get that engine started. The hand and footwork, trying to get it started a little early.
It's out of respect to DJ Gleesh up there at the line for the Coyotes defensively.
Murao, the 12th top recruit in the state of California.
Young slinging it on 4th down. Incomplete, a turnover on downs. Centennial's defense comes up with the stop.
Nice job, and that has to infuse this Coyotes defense, heck, the entire football team, with some energy, some excitement. Maybe Young waited just 1/1000 too long holding on to the football. It looked like Cody Epps had kind of hooked up there and was available, and Young unable to spot him on that occasion.
So Mater Dei's defense back out. Jonathan Morris in the Coyotes offense. If you told them you were going to find 3 touchdowns in the first half, I think they'd be pretty pleased. But Mater Dei scoring on offense and special teams. Twice on punt miscues. Touchdown and a safety, the result in favor of the Monarchs in that first half.
And remember, the Coyotes had a penalty on the initial kickoff return of the game. It set them back a little bit. Well, so set them back a little bit, I say. Set them back inside their own 10.
Morris maximizes that opportunity with the pitch out to Lindholm.
Saw Lindholm back in the first half take one around the right corner that set up a touchdown. Great speed. I know Coach Taylor's so excited about Lindholm's future.
Tip drill in and out of the hands of the Monarch on the coverage.
Haven't heard a lot from Eric Haney tonight. 5'10" senior. But there, Morris doesn't see the safety.
And Nate
coming over.
Nate White, one of your co-captains. He's the man who's bound for the Ivy League in Penn.
Morris saw Jackson, didn't see the safety.
Under pressure, nobody there up the middle. As that should be 4th down and time to punt. As Centennial's offense not able to capitalize on the opportunity after their defense came through. That defense is going to have to go back to work.
Yeah, exactly right. If there's a unit that needs a little bit of a blow, I think that picture there kind of tells the story that Coyotes defense been on the field a lot tonight. But then also think about the stress, the pressure of going up against this Mater Dei offense.
Able to get this punt away cleanly. Ran into his own man, and at the 30-yard line is where the next drive for the Monarchs begins.
Marcus Yates a little bit of a risk there, fielding the punt on the bouncing ball.
Yates, the junior.
I'm going to get away from it. No, man, I feel like making a play for my team. Uh-oh. Now I'm trapped. I'm in jail.
As Dom Brister on the tackle. limiting the return. Already halfway through this third quarter after that Mater Dei turnover on downs, then Centennial 3 and out. Most of that time was chewed out the last time Monarchs were on the field.
Don't anticipate that Dave Money's going to change the playbook, the play calls very much here. Heard Coach Rollinson at halftime how Mater Dei feeling they still have to put points up on the scoreboard.
Coach Money, the offensive coordinator, has spent time studying with Mike Leach and Lincoln Riley in the offseason. And while it's not exactly an air raid offense on display, it is a clinic being put on by Bryce Young, dissecting this defense regardless of who the receiver is. This time back to Kyron Ware-Hudson.
Speaking of being around coaches, and Mike Leach, a guy I visited with before, a heck of a guy, heck of a coach, but Coach Rollinson, his time playing at USC, he crossed paths with Jim Fossil and Mike Holmgren, who went on, of course, to be head coaches in the NFL. I wonder if they shared any thoughts back in the late 60s, early 70s on the campus of USC.
More than a handful of ties to the Trojans with this Mater Dei program. And another pass completed to Ware-Hudson. As again, he's one of 2 receivers over 100 yards tonight. Young now 27 of 33 for over 400 yards passing midway through the third quarter.
See that pass there? How it was more kind of like a flick than a pass. Didn't really reach back, didn't turn his shoulders, didn't turn his hips.
Not fair.
It's arms. That's arm straight. If you're a defensive back, if you're in coverage, how do you react to that?
Slinging it. First down, wanting it more, wanting it all. Hauled down at the 6. Back to Kyron Ware-Hudson.
6'2", 212-pound junior. He's got all these teammates out here that draw a lot of attention. He's going to start getting attention.
About 30 yards after the catch.
Yeah, nice screen. You see the big fella, Ty Marks, getting out there, trying to do hat on hat.
That's his 10th catch of the ball game, over 150 yards, just short of his 3rd touchdown.
Ty Marks moving his feet.
They're going to let him try to carry it in towards the pylon, arms in the air. Ware-Hudson with 2 receiving touchdowns and takes that one in for his 3rd score.
And John McKay, speaking of USC, that looked like student body left, where you get a big man with big people out in front of him, and
that'll technically be a 3rd receiving touchdown for Ware-Hudson. That means for Bryce Young, a 6th touchdown toss.
Look at that. Look at those offensive linemen. It's a nickel, not 5 pennies, getting down the LOS and setting up room for the guy with the ball.
The defending national champions with their largest lead of the night here in the less than friendly confines, as they are in the den of the Coyotes, but right now in the driver's seat.
Big O Tires
and the D-backs
have teamed up to keep you safe
and deliver Major League fun.
It's the Check Your Air,
Score a Pair promotion.
Stop into any participating Big O Tires for a free air pressure check,
and you'll receive a voucher for 2 D-backs tickets to select games.
Proper inflation improves tire performance.
Slows tire wear.
Saves gas.
And gets you home safe.
So remember, check your air,
score a pair.
Big O Tires
and the D-backs, the teams you trust.
Here's what you've been waiting for. Arrowhead Honda's state-of-the-art showroom is now open. We're bigger, better, and ready to deal. Check out these offers.
Lease a 2019 Honda Civic LX Sedan CVT for just $89 a month, or a 2019 Honda CRV LX two-wheel drive for $135 a month.
So come on down and check out our brand new showroom. Find your new car at Arrowhead Honda at Bell Road and the 101.
Bryce Young to Kyron Ware-Hudson. Rinse and repeat. It's been a touchdown connection 3 times tonight, and that's only half of the touchdown tosses on the resume this evening for Bryce Young, who's found the end zone 6 times.
Tradition, 2-time defending national champs, 11-time California state champs, 4-time USA Today national champs. Mater Dei 2019 looks like it might be another special campaign.
Trying to one hand, able to stay off his knee. And Centennial is going to be starting at the 10-yard line after Dax Linnell on the return.
Yeah, Dax, they're just, again, I keep saying it because, you know, we know it's true. Trying to make a play for his team, and a learning moment there that, you know, Coach Isaac, Coach Taylor, Coach Isaac's the special teams coach, and Coach Taylor talked to the young man. See Centennial, Zayden Ennis, a junior offensive line, then has to run on the field quickly.
Morris making sure everybody's on the same page. Right in the teeth of that defense. Reminder, Arrowhead Honda is supporting our schools, and they want to support you with your next vehicle. Whether you're a graduate, football mom, or grandparent, they've got the car for you. Contact Arrowhead Honda for amazing prices on new and used Civics, Accords, Pilots, CRVs, and yes, the all-new Passport. Mention high school football or visit arrowheadhonda.com. So second down here for the Coyotes. A victory last weekend to open the season. A big test tonight. And you mentioned at the top of the broadcast, steel sharpening steel. Both these teams will be better for this collision here on the outskirts of Phoenix, Arizona.
Coyotes have had so much trouble running between the tackles, and if you remember one of our keys to the game, it was the ability for Mater Dei to shut down this running game of Centennial. And you see the nose guard, Ueli Falatoa Ali Leah, the nose guard, 321-pounder, doing such a nice job of absorbing blockers and allowing his teammates around him to make plays.
As Tom has the arm downfield, just out of bounds with the throw, unable to connect and convert.
The Coyotes had the matchup they wanted. It was Dean Neely, a linebacker, in coverage, but not quite able to connect. So you design the play, you make the play call, design the play, you go out and execute, and just off by a little bit.
Again, parents, important, we want you to learn the signs and symptoms of concussion at barrowneuro.org/concussion discussion.
Got a good look there. One of the two-way starters for the Coyotes, Derek Jadarski.
A punt finally caught on the fly, and a chance here. Block in the back, though, is going to bring this all back. But first, a sprint down that far sideline. But again, the flag immediately dropped. A hit from the blind side as Damani Jackson's return. The sophomore, it's all coming back.
What did Coach used to tell us? If you can read his last name, leave him alone.
Some of these last names are hard to read. Still leave him alone.
See, I guess better phrased, if you can see his last name. Officiating crew, in my opinion, has done a tremendous job tonight. Early season for these guys as well.
All of that was after the punt, so this will be Mater Dei football, as right now,
like Don Brister is being attended to by the outstanding training staff for Centennial High School. Getting back again to player safety, we saw it when Young was injured earlier this half, and saw back in the first half as well when Sagiao went down. You know, player safety is so important, so much invested in it, so much being studied, all in the aim, the goal to make this sport as safe as possible, because it's always going to be a collision sport. But as safe as you can make it for student athletes, the better.
A good sign there for Brister.
Yeah, it's always one of the things we look for, right, is the player, one, leaving under their own power, and are they able to put all the weight down on their feet and legs, and it appears as though the young man is able to do so there. That is outstanding.
A check and check. Mater Dei with the lone score so far here in this third quarter as we're 7 minutes in. Lincoln Rose, Bill Colhane in the booth. Of course, down on the sideline, Haley Stasiak.
Oh, Haley's been staying hydrated tonight.
Well, again, Bruce Rawlinson was our meteorologist on the phone call. Coach was not just keeping track of how hot it was in Santa Ana, but also what the temperature was projected to be in Peoria.
And what did he tell his staff? I don't want to talk about it. Don't talk about the weather. Just go out and play football. What was he? He was talking about a game Mater Dei had up in Sacramento years ago. It was 28 degrees, and he told his staff, don't talk about the weather.
Another completion for the resume of Mr. Young tonight, as he's been distributing this football. Another one to Williams, his 6th grab.
Yeah, right there, right? I mean, Williams, obviously, he has to see the ball in his hands and then make the move, but Young sure does help.
Bryce Young, future USC Trojan. This is a high school that, again, he was preceded by Matt Leinart, Ben Barkley as well. Young, just when you think you have him. And he'll be spun out of bounds after extending this drive. And now they'll separate the players, trying to strip the ball loose, but the play was already dead. And now this is where you don't want to see flags flying. For the Coyotes, you're in hostile territory over there. It's not going to end well. And we will let our officials give us the update.
Yeah, especially, Mater Dei, after already seeing Young get dinged up a little bit earlier in the half, they're going to be certainly protective of number 9.
You got him, got him, got him, don't got him.
How frustrating is that, where you do all that work to get home and then can't make the play?
And then just at the end trying to rip that ball loose, but it's not what you need in that situation. And again, it's not going to end well when you're on the wrong sideline.
Pointing in the direction of Mater Dei. So the penalty called on, what did I miss? Penalty called on Mater Dei, and I don't know.
I heard 15, which in my mind would actually be Eric Haney for Centennial as opposed to Leofa for Mater Dei. But it is going against the Monarchs. So retaliation we see in this sport often is what gets flagged.
Yeah, so you just said it, Lincoln. No flag called on what we witnessed there at the sideline, at the Mater Dei sideline.
The act of trying to pry him off your quarterback.
Yeah.
It'll still be first down.
I wonder, though, in watching that play, how much that's going to expedite Young maybe coming out of this game when Coach Rawlinson sees for a second time his QB1 involved in something like that.
And the play is blown dead before the snap. Was there a timeout call? Delay of game. Did not get the play off in time.
The Monarchs haven't faced much adversity tonight. Be interesting to see how Mater Dei's offense can operate here.
We haven't talked about this, but Bryce Young has basically all the permissions. He can go up there and audible. He can flip the play. He can change the play, change the coverage. He is in full control.
Sugar huddle, no huddle, full huddle. He's got the keys to the car, Lincoln.
Another strike down the middle. They were looking for the big hit. Instead, it's the big finish for Cody Epps.
Great balance by Epps. Yeah, you've got to wrap up. You got to see what you're going to hit. You got to wrap up, and you said it, Lincoln. Try to go for the big hit.
Third touchdown tonight for Epps on his 10th catch.
5th of the year. Epps is a good one. And the thing is, okay, put Epps on a lot of teams, and what do you say? We're going to double that guy.
But a lot of teams are just going to snap directly to him as their wildcat all night long.
That too.
Probably the best athlete they'd have.
But defensively, you're going to double him. You're going to bracket him.
Mater Dei strikes again. They have owned this third quarter, emerging from the locker room. After Bryce Young was in a bit of a tussle on the sideline, he answers back with his right arm on display as Epps takes it the rest of the way.
What is Valle Luna Mexican Food and Cantinas? We are a true Arizona original, serving carefully prepared, authentic Sonoran-style cuisine since 1983. We are time-honored family recipes using only the freshest ingredients. Good fun, a family place, a gathering place. We are happy faces and happy hours. We are your new favorite neighborhood hangout. Valle Luna Mexican Food and Cantinas.
Phoenix Children's Medical Moments.
Every patient that I see, they want to get back in the game. We are the leading group in the state that takes care of dedicated pediatric sports medicine patients. I get kids back to doing what they love to do. They want an advantage to get them back, whether that be a week sooner, a day sooner, a month sooner, whatever it is. Going to a place that is pediatric focused will give you that advantage.
Well, Bryce Young's been serving up touchdowns, 7 of them through the air, serving up authentic Sonoran-style Mexican food since 1983. Visit Valle Luna Mexican Food and Cantinas, 3 locations around the valley. Valle Luna, proud supporters of scholar athletes in Arizona. And of course, again, as we've touched on, young athletes' bodies are a work in progress, and in their care requires a different approach. Phoenix Children's Sports Medicine is nationally recognized physicians and therapists who get young athletes back to doing what they love fast. Make an appointment today. Visit phoenixchildrens.org as another chance for Centennial to put something together here in the third quarter in the final 3 minutes, as we are told the clock is going to start to run now here in the second half with Mater Dei up by more than 40 points.
Mater Dei, there have obviously been some hiccups in the game tonight. It's high school football, right? These are 15, 16, 17, some cases 18-year-old players out there, but man, all 3 phases. You see there the kickoff coverage. Guys so disciplined, staying in their lanes, squeezing the kickoff returner. In this case, Dax Lindholm trying to bring it back for Centennial. It's a well-coached, well-schooled team executing so well.
Nice cuts by the ball carrier, James Scott. Scott, the sophomore, among a rotation of talented running backs for Centennial.
The guy making the tackle there for Mater Dei is a sophomore. Big fella Moa, 6'2", 295. And that's one of the things that really, in prepping for the game, doing the research, looking at the film, 26 seniors, 26 juniors, 15 sophomores, and 3 freshmen on the Mater Dei roster.
First down run before the hit from Nate White. As they're going to say, I believe he was down before that ball popped out. They go back-to-back plays with Scott. And a flag is down.
Just mentioned the big sophomore.
Not for the reason you want to be mentioned here.
Ooh.
Yeah, that was just a finger finding its way into the mask. Don't know if there was ever a grasp of it.
Well,
they're going to err on the side of caution.
Coyotes ended up on the football as well.
So perhaps a break there for Centennial. No breaks running into the big men up front. Among those on the stop, the man you talked about, Siona Moa. Again, as a sophomore, he checks in at 6'2", 295.
You've seen this, Lincoln. You've obviously been doing football for many years, but you see teams that maybe load up. There's that one special class that takes a team maybe to a championship of some flavor, but then there's nothing behind it.
Well, you refer to Mater Dei's special senior class last year that really had a team-first focus that Coach harped on. They move on, many of them with opportunities at the next level, and here you go, next man up.
You pointed out in quarterback play, it's always been important, but with so much responsibility being put on the shoulders of quarterbacks now at all levels, you made the point about how many of these Monarch quarterbacks have gone on to play D1.
Want to remind you about adrenaline-charged family entertainment. Monster Jam returns to State Farm Stadium October 5th this next month. Tickets already on sale now. 3 quarters in the books. Mater Dei flexing their muscle on the road. The Road Warriors, your defending state champions, defending national champions, looking good in their 3rd chapter of this 2019 campaign.
Monster Jam, where it's winner takes all. There are no second chances, no guts, no glory. See Gravedigger, Megalodon, and more compete for the championship. Experience adrenaline-charged family entertainment. This is Monster Jam. Presented by official partners America's Best Contacts and Eyeglasses and BKT Tires. Tickets start at $15. Coming to State Farm Stadium October 5th. Lock in your seats today.
Shopping online takes all of the hassle out of buying a car. And thanks to our redesigned website, Larry H. Miller Dealerships has made online car shopping even easier. One click shows you every vehicle for sale in the state. Estimate your payments and find a plan that works for you. Learn everything about the vehicle with a Carfax vehicle history and get the real value for your trade. Then stop by the dealership and pick up your new vehicle. Say hello to the future of car shopping at Larry H. Miller Dealerships. Online at lhmauto.com. Driven by you.
Busy. That's life for you. So while you get to it, we're going nonstop to keep you running. No running around. For new key fobs, plus your neighborhood's largest selection of batteries plus bulbs. Plus, if your phone needs fixing, we do that too. Know how, right now. That's our specialty. Power up at your local Batteries Plus bulb store or at batteriesplus.com for all your power needs. Yes, all of them.
About to get underway with the 4th quarter. Larry H. Miller proud to support Arizona high school football, driven by you. As Centennial with the football, 3rd and long. Trying to answer Mater Dei's touchdown a moment ago and drop for a 7-yard loss. And, well, it is not the B team in there right now for Mater Dei. Rajon Davis again gets into the backfield and able to bring down the quarterback.
Yeah, and Morris shaken up at the end of the play as well. It's tough to run play action when the score is what it is. Rajon Davis did not react to the play action at all.
Even Bailey has the burden of being teammates with Davis. Otherwise, Bailey would have been the first man to the quarterback. So by the time he got there, the sack already in place, and Centennial is going to punt this one away.
When we spoke with Coach Taylor, we asked him who's the quarterback after Morris, and he said it'll be Young out of Wildcat.
So no return here for Mater Dei. Power up at your neighborhood Batteries Plus Bulb store or at batteriesplus.com. You can get 15% off all automotive batteries online through the month of September. Again, that's at Batteries Plus Bulbs.
Getting back to the balance in the classes at Mater Dei, 26 seniors, 26 juniors, 15 sophomores, 3 freshmen. I asked Coach Rollinson, how have you created that balance? And he said, our best players play, doesn't matter what grade you're in. It's not a popularity contest.
Mater Dei is not just competing in a national spotlight game right now on our broadcast, but you see the documentary crew that's also on the sideline. This is not your typical Friday night when you're Bruce Rollinson and this program that you've built over the past 3 decades.
Extra pressure, right, with all eyes being on you?
Solinsky has yet to attempt a pass this year. This his first. Of course it's caught. It'll go for a touchdown. Christian Dixon. And the flag will come in late. But the Monarchs, this is the future of this program. Not that there's anything wrong with the present.
How about that? I'm not going to say system.
What's the QB rating now of Sky Solinsky?
Right?
He had 4 carries this year, and now his first toss. And if I'm him, I call it a career.
Uses his feet. Not quite to the level of Young, of course, but uses his feet to get outside the pocket.
It's going to be that little wave goodbye of the left hand that you may have caught that draws the flag.
Get you every time.
Now, at the college level and some high schools, if that had occurred before he entered the end zone, they actually would have wiped the touchdown away, because it would have been during the play. That is not how it's enforced here, though.
The Coyote, you saw the defensive back fully outstretched. Almost got a handle.
Now the defense called for unsportsmanlike conduct. At half the distance, the goal is 3 feet.
Emotions, right? Young football players, these will be coachable moments.
Every goal that Centennial entered this season with, still within reach.
Absolutely. And when you speak with Coach Taylor and you ask him about going up against Mater Dei, he says we want to find out, we the Coyotes want to find out what we're capable of. Memories for the players, memories for the Centennial community. Now, of course, Coach Taylor's wife said he was being too big for his britches, scheduling Mater Dei.
I wasn't on that conference call.
Yes, you were. He joked about how she joked.
Oh, this is him quoting her.
Yes.
Sky Solinsky. Christian Dixon. Monarchs. Rain continues.
Tonight's play of the game is brought to you by Rias. It's time to rethink your AC company. Check out yourview.com for more in-depth high school football coverage from around the country.
I'm attorney Jeffrey Phillips of Phillips Law Group, and I'm here to remind you that insurance companies are not your friends. They're not good neighbors, and you're definitely not in good hands. They're all in business for themselves. Insurance companies fight every day to not pay claims. They don't want you to get a lawyer, yet they have lawyers. So what should you do? Hire someone who is really on your side right now. Phillips Law Group, 602-222-2222, or go to phillipslaw.com.
You're watching Game Time on YourView. For more in-depth coverage of the top players around, recruiting updates, behind-the-scenes access, and more, check out yourview.com.
Well, they are enforcing, again, the unsportsmanlike conduct on the touchdown here on Mater Dei. That is not wiped away by the unsportsmanlike conduct on Centennial. That was enforced for all of a yard on the extra point. I don't think we have time to get into the philosophy of how those two enforcements work out.
I was going to say just another clear indication of why you and I aren't officials.
Yeah, I don't tend to question what the men in the black and white come up with their rulings. Off a hop, Coyotes want to end this on a high note before they go into the weekend, as their next drive will start around the 35-yard line. Well, Rias Air Conditioning and Home Performance, it's time to rethink your AC company. Remember, it's hard to stop a train, as it's been hard to stop Mater Dei regardless of who the quarterback is. It appears the night is done for Bryce Young, who was 31 for 37 tonight for 528 yards, 7 touchdowns. They brought in Solinsky. I'd argue he's been better. He was 1 for 1 for the 60-yard touchdown strike. That is efficiency.
So it looks like Coyotes, line judge throws a flag. Coyotes infraction there. So you think there's a quarterback controversy at Mater Dei?
I think both schools had some capable guys doing some things in their moments.
You know who Mater Dei's done a tremendous job of shutting down tonight? That's Dylan Miller. Coming in, Coach Rollinson pointed out that Miller would be a point of emphasis. Coach Taylor knew that the Monarchs would likely double him, roll a safety his way.
Got low, and a perhaps touchdown saving tackle there from Cameron Sidney, the sophomore. Love a defensive back who's willing to go toe-to-toe with a running back.
Yeah, stick his nose in there, and obviously Sidney, smart dude, he went low.
James Scott's had some nice moments tonight, the sophomore. Tonight where Morris was 6 for 20 passing for 123 yards. We've seen 5 different ball carriers tonight, including touchdowns from Morris and Jacob. Of course, Adams with the lone receiving touchdown, and that was not from Morris, but instead Linnell. As a nice bit of hitting there on the line by Kongaika.
Mater Dei's done such a nice job of fitting everything tonight, for the most part. Now, there have been some breakdowns. Coach Rollinson talked a little bit about it at halftime, but against a really good football team, a talented offense like Centennial has, Mater Dei has seemingly tonight always had a hat there.
It's a defense that can gamble with the front 7 because of how well this secondary has been able to lock down receivers so far this year. And that is, again, such a wonderful thing to have for a defensive coordinator. Tough running for the first down here. And now a flag comes in. Not the time for extracurriculars. The play itself, a run for first down.
Play to the echo of the whistle, then call it a day and move on to the next play.
Bruce Rollinson's not going to mind having a few things he can harp on to try to make this team better going into the next week.
And think about this as well, Lincoln. Here it is on the road, this kind of environment, and really both teams getting some meaningful reps in terms of building upon their experience. And that's what programs like this get, the advantage they get as well, is because situations, games like this, a lot of guys get to play.
We are seeing what happens when Mater Dei has some tape on a team. Last week they were going into their second week, but they were up against a team that was opening its season. And really, at high school, you can't just go back and look at last year because so much changes in personnel, even if the coaching philosophy is similar. But this week, they were able to look back at the victory that Centennial had in their opener, and Mater Dei appeared to have the game plan on both sides of the football.
Well, yeah, and you made the point about year-to-year high school level players change, but we've mentioned during this broadcast, coaches change at a lot of places. Not at Mater Dei, not at Centennial.
Yeah, two coaches colliding tonight, each 3 decades at the helm of their programs, and a 9-yard gain will set up a manageable down and distance coming up here. Let's check back in with Haley.
Lincoln, earlier you mentioned that Guadalcanal patch that the Monarchs wear on the right side of their jerseys. That patch had to be approved by the commanding general. It was done back in 2007 when the Monarchs started their Monarchs for Marines program. This program, they spend the day at Camp Pendleton in San Diego and host a football and dance camp for kids stationed at Camp Pendleton with their parents. Domani Jackson, actually, sophomore defensive back, number 3. He started as a freshman. He's been out there tonight. His father was stationed at the camp, and he participated in the Monarchs camp when he was young. They typically see 2,500 families. It's an early day, but Coach Rollinson said it's one of the most rewarding things this program does.
Yeah, a lot of folks can point to that as a selfless act, but for some of them, they'll look back as though it was a selfish gesture in the sense that they get so much out of giving their time. It is a tradition now over the years, and it is such a unique opportunity to give back to those families.
Yeah, and at Mater Dei, it's part of the service hours that students are required to fulfill. But Coach Rollinson pointed out, and he's right, most of his players, as you said, Lincoln, absolutely love participating in that camp. They get more than they give.
It is a full 24-hour experience when they hit the road, get there, the full day, and then return the next day exhausted, but it's the best kind of exhausted you can experience.
Yeah. We trust a lot of folks tuned in to our broadcast tonight, former or current military members. Appreciate all that you do, all that you have done.
A couple of teams with recent trophies in their respective showcases colliding tonight. As again, a running clock here in the 4th quarter with the current discrepancy on the scoreboard. No second half points conceded by Mater Dei after Centennial really started to click in that 2nd quarter. The worst thing that happened, Mater Dei got to go into the locker room and make some adjustments.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And there's a picture of the patch again that Haley just described. Outstanding. 1st Marine Division Guadalcanal patch.
Again, we chat with these coaches, and as much as they want to brag about their staff and their students, it's not about performance on the field. It's about performance in the classroom and in the community. Richard Taylor of Centennial will point out first and foremost that Centennial is an A+ school. It's one of the top in the country. Mater Dei, you talk about the community service as well.
Exactly, and Coach Rollinson points out how his players crack the books as well.
Final minute here in the 4th. We'll have some post-game interviews coming your way. It's game time on Your View. Tonight, our spotlight here with our Arizona High School Football Game of the Week. Morris, and nothing doing as Mater Dei was there ready to make the stop. As next man up, and that may be the final play of the night. It'll be Mater Dei remaining unbeaten here in 2019, handing the Coyotes their first loss of the year. But both these teams will be juggernauts moving forward in their respective home states.
You said it, Lincoln, and I know Coach Taylor, you know, his kids are going to be disappointed. The Coyotes will be disappointed, but as you mentioned, Coach Taylor will tell his guys, all of our goals are ahead of us.
Centennial has called a timeout to attempt this 40-yard field goal, put some points on the board in the 2nd half. And look, this is what non-district play is all about. Joaquin Rodriguez can test his range.
Little bit of a breeze into his face.
You're welcome. Has the distance, but it turned left just one.
Had the leg.
The two communities will come together at midfield. Mater Dei made the trek from California to see if their talents would travel. They did with no lag to speak of in that opening quarter. Of course, their bus driver, Mr. Bryce Young. When we come back, we'll talk to the Monarchs. Now 3-0 as they continue to look to defend their titles from a year ago.
Shopping online takes all of the hassle out of buying a car. And thanks to our redesigned website, Larry H. Miller Dealerships has made online car shopping even easier. One click shows you every vehicle for sale in the state. Estimate your payments and find a plan that works for you. Learn everything about the vehicle with a Carfax vehicle history and get the real value for your trade. Then stop by the dealership and pick up your new vehicle. Say hello to the future of car shopping at Larry H. Miller Dealerships. Online at lhmauto.com. Driven by you.
If you think it's hot now, think again. We'll be shattering the century mark before you know it. And if your AC isn't ready for the summer, this year, you need to rethink your AC service. Whether you have an AC emergency, are experiencing hot rooms, or high utility bills, or your current system has seen its final days, Rias delivers guaranteed solutions. Call for your free home energy performance evaluation today. Rethink your home's comfort and energy efficiency with Rias, where they always say, it's hard to stop a train. Visit Rias.com.
No guts, no glory. There are no second chances. This is Monster Jam. Brought to you by BKT Tires. Tickets start at $15. Coming to State Farm Stadium October 5th. See it live and bring the whole family.
That's not the right score. That's not the right score. Mater Dei victorious tonight as they come into the den and knock off the Coyotes. Let's take a look at tonight's Arrowhead Honda Drive of the Game. Arrowhead Honda supporting our schools. You can find your car and buy online at arrowheadhonda.com. They marching down the field by the Monarchs. Again, one of the many drives where Mr. Young able to dissect the defense.
Does it with his arm, does it with his feet, does it with his mind.
As so much talent, a tough team to stop. We saw it all throughout the evening. And just one of the many stat-stuffing drives for the future Trojan quarterback Bryce Young.
Yeah, good job of mixing plays, not just on this drive, all night long by the Monarchs. Seem to have the right play dialed up early and often.
And it would come to a conclusion with the touchdown for Cody Epps, one of 7 touchdown strikes tonight.
Yeah, Epps really good. Really good. He's going to cause problems. Obviously, he's caused problems with people tonight, people previously. But looking down the road, Epps has a bright future.
Not a lot of people can wrangle in Bryce Young, but that's exactly what Haley has been able to do, as Haley is with the future Trojan.
Bryce, what a game. What do you have to say about coming down to Arizona in this heat and getting it done, get the win?
It really speaks to our coaching and really speaks to how we prepared for this matchup. It wasn't easy. We have a lot of respect for Centennial. They did a great job. Again, the elements played a big factor. We're not used to this heat. So for us to stay focused, stay composed, and come out with a win as we did, I'm really proud of the team.
You've got a legendary coach who's coached up some of the best quarterbacks that this country has seen. What have you learned under Coach Rawlinson in your tenure with Mater Dei?
I've learned so much. Just the winning tradition really is, I feel like what he's instilled most in me. Just to see what it takes to build a winner from, everyone sees what happens Friday nights, but they don't see what happens Monday through Thursday. They don't see what happens in the summer, in the spring, all the hard work we put in. And, he does a great job of keeping us level, making sure we're prepared week in and week out. So, we as a team owe a lot to Coach Rawlinson.
Coach, your young gun getting it done. You braved the Arizona heat. What do you have to say about this big one?
Well, Bryce Young is, he's starting to etch his way up, into where, we could be calling him the greatest next, It's what he did tonight, composure, probably over 50% of the stuff he audibilized or changed the whole concept, and you can't say enough about that. And then his release is uncanny, and how he finds the weaknesses in the defense is pretty crazy stuff. But like he said, you have to invest a tremendous amount of time, and you have to say, okay, I'm going to dedicate everything I've got. Got a lot of kids that can throw the football, but You know, he's married into understanding what we try to do.
How about your defense in this second half? They got it done, able to hold Centennial despite some first half errors.
Yeah, I challenged them a little bit at halftime, and you know, they were real physical tonight, even with the 21 points. You know, that's a good football team. You know, and like I said at halftime, you know, they got us on one play, and we got ourselves on another two. But we were coming after them, and you know, I believe in playing aggressive high school football and turning my guys loose and running it. And that's what I told them, you know, go out and, you know, I know people don't like to hear this, but it's just a term we use, start the fight, and then keep throwing punches till it's over, and that's what we did.
Bryce Young, Coach Rollinson, congrats on the big win. Safe travels back to California. Guys, back to you.
Haley, thank you. Coach Rollinson right now starting his trek to his next 300 victories. As check out tonight's Rios cool play of the game. Rios, it's time to rethink your AC company. No surprise, it involves number 9 as Young. One of his 7 touchdowns tonight. 3 of them wound up with Epps in the end zone.
Yeah, exactly right. And Epps there showing the ability. The yards after the catch were such a big part of the story tonight for Mater Dei. But I think all in all, as I leave the booth, I'll be thinking about the fact that Mater Dei clearly demonstrated tonight how they are a proven national championship caliber team yet again to come into this environment, come on this trip, and do what they did tonight, perform like they did in this football game. Really impressive stuff.
It was game time tonight here on Your View here in Arizona. The champs from California came to town. Offense, defense, special teams all clicking as they improved to 3-0. For Bill Colhane, Haley Stasiak, I'm Lincoln Rose. Monarchs looking to be crowned once again by the end of 2019.